Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so a premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. My dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool, and ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. Hello, guys. Welcome. We're here. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of the fights. Tell me who you think is going to win in the main event. I have, I'm really pumped to see Leon Edwards fight. I haven't seen Leon Edwards fight for a long time. Belal Muhammad, having said that, I've watched him fight. I've been impressed with him as of late. Looking forward to Eryk Anders versus Darren Stewart fight. I think Eryk Anders, being a former NFL player, is going to be very interesting because he's transitioned quite well, ground jiu-jitsu and whatnot. He's won some fights, has lost some fights. It's interesting. But I like Darren Stewart because Darren Stewart is actually like an elite salsa dancer and dancer in general. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out. The dancer versus the fighter, the football player. So I'm interested. I'm a big fan of Darren Stewart. I love the way he fights. And yeah, that's the other fight I think I have that I'm really itching to see. But in all fairness, I haven't seen Leon Edwards fight in a long time. Sorry about that. I haven't seen Leon Edwards fight in a long time, and so pretty pumped to see that. So yeah, I was saying I'm interested to see how it goes as far as the fight between Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad, because I haven't seen Leon fight in ages. I've been very impressed with Belal Muhammad as of late, and I'm interested to see how this Eryk Anders versus Darren Stewart fight goes, because that's the other fight I've been waiting to see. Is Darren Stewart. Darren Stewart is what do you call it? Darren Stewart is a elite dancer, so I want to see how the elite dancer matches up versus the former NFL player in Eryk Anders. Eryk Anders has had some mixed bag of results, but some really big wins and some close decisions against some really good fighters. Let's see. Endless Nameless says, howdy Fab. I heard the battery in the Weed Whacker is the same one from the Large Hadron Collider. It is, my friend, it is. That's what they use. James the Juiceman says, yeah, let's go, bruv. Completely forgot this was on today. Laser Fan says, perfect day for a brother. Looking forward to your call. I'm pretty sure that's Pip Dennison. So Pip Dennison, shout out to you. One of the better surfers in the world. And Joel Forbes, my surfing coach and life mentor. Thank you guys for being on and joining. We should have a nice cozy afternoon here watching it in the Australian South Coast, New South Wales South Coast. It's rainy, it's dreary, but it's lovely. It's a very picturesque place anyways. And I'm just looking forward to this fight and see how it goes, see where this places Edwards. It's a shame about Hamzat Chimaev, though, retiring at such an early age. Dingus Dengus says, hey, Fab, who you got for the main event? I want Belal to win because I think he's funny and I love an underdog. I like Belal as well. I like Belal. I think he's a great fighter. You know, it's going to be interesting how Leon handles, especially has been off for a while as well. Like he hasn't been fighting for a while. And Belal's been fighting, and Belal comes forward, with a huge amount of pressure. It's going to be interesting to see. He beat Lima recently, so that's not a walk in the park either. So it's going to be interesting to see how Leon deals with that. I think Leon's grappling is very, very underrated, or maybe it's not underrated anymore. So it'll be interesting because Belal does come forward. He hits hard and he hits with bad intentions. But Leon, I think, probably technically is the better striker. It's just going to be interesting how he deals with the pressure coming forward after such a big layoff. James Adjuceman, I got Leon. Belal looks solid both skill-wise and physically, but I haven't seen much of him. He's good, man. He's good. He's definitely a pressure guy. Likes to come forward. He's a hard man. I don't know if Leon's going to be able to be the bull to his matador, though. The matador to his bull, rather. The enigma to me is not Belal, because Belal, I kind of know how he's going to fight. The enigma for me is going to be Leon in this fight, just because I haven't seen him fight for so long. And I do think that he was very focused on having the Hamzat fight, and Belal and Hamzat are very different fighters. Jack the Ripper says, I like Belal Muhammad, but I don't know how that leg is doing. Lima hit it hard and often a few weeks ago. That's exactly right. That's I think that as well. All right, you know what? That's a very, very good point, because Lima did hit it hard. The Lima brothers do like they appreciate a good calf kick, good leg kick. And that thing would still be sore, That wouldn't be okay by now. Ben, what's up, coach? Really excited to see Manel Kape again. I think he has the potential to be a future flyweight champ. He's a big, strong boy. I'll give him that in that division. Billy Boy, do you think with the kind of fight Belal will bring, Leon will gas if it goes 5 rounds? I don't know if it goes. I don't know if gas. I don't know if Leon will gas necessarily, just because Leon is pretty. He's very methodical. He doesn't throw a lot of pressure and go, waste energy and whatnot. He's very, very methodical in what he does. He picks the spots to hit. He's very good, So I don't know that he's going to gas. I just think that the timing and the pressure of being in there might play a factor. It could affect his gas. It could affect his cardio. Yeah, but that last fight he had with Diego Lima, that wasn't a walk in the park. He ate some big leg kicks there. So yeah, Belal I'm talking about now. Hey, Chase T. Newen says, hey, what's up, champ? Good to see you. Good to see you, Mr. Newen. How are you? James Adjuceman Ravestein says, do you get a point for a takedown if the guy gets straight back up? Now, you don't get scored for a takedown, because that's just changing, and this is from Big John's mouth to me before in the corner when we've been thinking, I've asked him questions. So you're just changing standing to on the ground. So just for the takedown in and of itself, you don't get the points. But you would get points when the judges are watching it, if nothing else has happened in the fight, nothing else, and you score a takedown and you kind of manhandle the person a bit, it's going to look bad in the judge's eyes. They're not going to give it to the guy that got taken down. So, no, if you get taken down and you get straight back up, it's actually to your detriment. And physiologically, it is to your detriment. Billy Boy, I think Belal will try to force a lot of grappling exchanges, which is different than what Leon is used to. Man, Leon has got good grappling, man. You saw him against Gunnar Nelson. You saw him against some good guys in there. I don't think that's going to be Leon's problem. He's been in there with Rafael Dos Anjos. These are all, Usman. He's been in there with Gunnar Nelson, like I said, and a few other guys that I can't come to my mind right now. So, I don't think that in and of itself is going to be a massive problem, the grappling. I think Leon would prefer for it to go to the grappling. He opted to grapple against Gunnar numerous times, where I would have thought that he would have had the clear-cut standing advantage. Rob McKenzie says, "G'day from the West, Fab. G'day right back at you, sir." Cricket says, hashtag Fab for Prime Minister. Got Edwards winning by decisions. Hope you're all having a chillaxed weekend. Working on it, my friend, working on it. Darren Stewart is doing his walkout now. He's walking out. He's got the British flag draped around him. Leon is excellent on top, but not very good on the bottom, but he's hard to take down. Jack the Ripper, yes, he is. Yes, he is. All of the above. I just don't know that Belal has that grappling to do that to him. I don't know that. He might though. Who do I have here? Stewart or Edwards? I want to say Stewart has a little bit more polished stand up, but Anders, I think you mean, not Eryk Anders. Anders is a little bit more of a bull in the china shop, to use that analogy once again. It's I don't know exactly. I'm actually interested to see it. Man, being a fighter must be hard, says Caleb. Someone like Darren Stewart, who's quite good at fighting, isn't even ranked. It is a very hard way to make a living. Gabriel Betancourt says, "You watch Big Les yet, Moy?" No, I have not yet, sir. No. GG, I wonder if Leon will show a newer game after so much time off, like Ortega. It depends who you fight too, dude. Like, I'd want to see Ortega against a couple of different guys before I'm entirely sold on how much he's improved. I mean, he definitely improved, but how much he improved, I'd like to see him against a few different guys. David Morris, Belal has been so much more active. I don't think the odds are giving him enough credit. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that Leon won't turn up and fight well. I just think that there is definitely a question mark when someone's been off for a couple of years. And by that, it might not be you. You might feel all right, but the other guy, if he's been active, he might feel great. You know, so that's a difference. Eryk Anders is walking out now. He's a big, strong boy, man. These two middleweights, two very decent middleweights. Eryk Anders just seems to be just a monster of a man. But having said that, whose grappling takes over, Ige or Tuck? Again, man, I don't know. I think, see, a lot of the times when you ask me that, or when you ask that, a lot of it depends on who gets who on the day. Because somebody mentioned earlier, Leon might not be that great off his back, but he's very good on top. And if he gets that guy down, you know, and he gets on top, he can do damage. So I don't know. I think it's going to depend in the Tuck fight. What happens between him and Dan? Does who takes the other one down? Who's able to get in a dominant position first? How the stand up goes, because they're both very good grapplers. Dan, if I'm not mistaken, he's like a brown belt in judo, Division 3 All-American or something like that, and a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And the other and Tuck can grapple too. So I don't know. Jack the Ripper says Darren Stewart is such a good fighter, just lacks that little fight IQ or experience. Don't know which one it is. Is there even a damn difference? Yeah, I mean, you can be experienced in your job, but you're not very bright at making those decisions when you're at work. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for fighting. You can have the experience, but it's what you do with the experience that matters more. You know, that's a big thing there. Greetings from Toronto, says Sasank. Right back at you, Sasank. Thank you for joining us. And guys, thank you very much for joining us. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you get the notification bells. Follow us on Instagram. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate all of you joining. The Instagram is Fabricio Ite at Instagram at Fabricio Ite. And we're about to kick off. So Eryk Anders is the underdog in this fight. Very interesting. And it's an interesting question when people are asking about that. What's the difference between fight IQ and experience? You can have one and not the other easily. You could even have fight IQ, but don't have the experience to really be able to capitalize on it. because fight IQ is the decisions you make and what you think should happen and where a person should go and what the person should do. But it's a real big difference. We're off, people. We're off. 4:59. We're off, and Darren Stewart is in the orthodox stance versus Eryk Anders in the southpaw stance. Eryk Anders has a nice wide stance here. Darren Stewart pouring away with a jab. Eryk Anders doing a good job of getting his foot outside of Stewart's lead foot. Stewart hits him with a low kick to the leg, outside low kick. Eryk Anders still in the southpaw stance. Two very powerful men here at middleweight. Pack a lot of power, both guys. Another nice outside kick landed by Stewart. Another little oblique kick landed by Stewart. Ooh, nice little jab landed by Stewart. Oblique kick by Stewart. Didn't land flush. You can see Anders waiting his time, but he does get his foot outside of the lead foot, which is very interesting that Stewart, his caliber, allows him to do it. Both guys swinging in the pocket. Anders came out the worst for wear out of the two of them. Stewart waves him on and comes forward, and they're swinging punches in the middle. Stewart is starting to get the better of the exchanges, starts to move forward. I wonder if there is a grappling advantage for Anders here because, and as I said that, he went for the takedown, and now he's holding Stewart up against the cage because Stewart is getting the better of the exchanges against Anders. He's doing a great job, does Stewart, with the whizzer to pick up Anders' leg. Anders' arm with the whizzer. Anders in deep on a single leg here. But Stewart's got a good whizzer here. I don't know that Anders is going to get this. He's trying to get the leg off the cage using his own leg, but I don't know that he's going to be able to do that. Stewart's defending very well. He's trying to get this left underhook in as Anders is trying to body lock him. Great balance shown by Stewart. Anders is obviously a very strong guy, and Stewart is obviously a very strong guy with good balance because that body lock was pretty close. Just trying to think. Also, this is going to be to Anders' favor because Eryk, if he can wear away some of Stewart's power and some of pop in the hands, it's going to make that gap in the striking a little closer. He's in deep on the double, but Stewart has very, very good balance, and Eryk was not able to get that double. He's back going for this body lock. He's in deep again. Stewart has got his hips in between him. So what Anders was doing was trying to get his hip in between Stewart's legs, and Stewart was positioned in a way that their hips were like side to side so that he couldn't get in deep. Oh, lands a left hook and a straight left and another left hand by Anders. Anders deep in a double leg. I think he was going to get him down. He has taken Stewart down, but he hasn't been able to hold him down. Now a cheeky knee landed on up against the cage. 1 minute, 46 seconds to go in this first round. Eryk Anders has done a fantastic job of being able to go back to using his physicality and his wrestling and his grappling, because he was definitely getting pieced up on right at the start of the fight against Stewart, and now he's taken away some of that pop from Stewart, and Anders is landing some big shots now. He's got the Muay Thai clinch. He's landed a 1-2 again on Stewart, but Stewart has a granite chin. He's been holding up. He's held up quite well. Eryk Anders lands another left to the chin of Stewart, and Stewart has taken it. Now both men exchanging. I think both men have come out at a fast, frenetic pace in this first round, and that neither one of their punches are coming out with huge amount of pop. But as I said, that Anders has dropped Stewart. There's 1 minute to go. Anders is landing some ground and pound. Stewart's not doing a fantastic job of defending himself. I think the ref is going to stop this. He's landing a few shots. He's landed a knee to the body now. He keeps landing shots, but Stewart has worked his way back up, and Anders is landing some shots here. Man, landing shots. 45 seconds to go. I don't know that Stewart's going to survive this. Anders is could be in danger of punching himself out. He lands a good knee, landing unanswered shots to Stewart's head. There's 34 seconds to go. Stewart lands on the ground. He was on all fours. He does a job to get up, but he need a grounded opponent. 26 seconds to go, and oh my God, he was on 3 points, and he need the grounded opponent. He need the grounded opponent. Exactly, not exactly like last week, but very similar to last week. So 3 points down, and he hit him. I don't know if people don't know this. So 3 points, your knee is one of them, right? So you got 2 feet and a knee. 2 feet and a knee, you're grounded. 2 feet and a hand, grounded. Oh my god. Oh my god. What do we do here? Well, 16 seconds to go in the first. I think now Darren Stewart will probably survive this round and he'll see a second round if the fight doesn't just get called. Yeah, Jack the Ripper, I agree. I think it happened in slow motion as well. I saw him and I thought, no, surely not. You're not gonna throw a knee. Please don't. But he did. I think they're gonna call it. They're calling it. They called it. They called the fight. The doc calls it. Anders is a big boy, man. He's a big boy. So they called the fight. Wow. Here we go. He's here. Yeah. We got hit flush, dude. Like you can't get hit. In fairness, he kind of took it on the hand as well, but you can't. What do you do? You know what I mean? Like I can't think if you take a knee like that, it's your responsibility to keep fighting. Like, nah, you gotta. It's not really fair on the fighter. That decision has to be made for him, and the doc made the decision. Um, at the end of the day, Anders can't be too mad. Like he's the one that threw the knee. So, um, James Adjustment says last round, Izzy pressured Jan and threw a hook. Jan ducked and took him down almost opportunistically. Would you recommend a takedown as a defensive tool to avoid danger? I'm thinking of Ngannou versus Rosenstruck. First of all, Rosenstruck nor Ngannou have the ground game properly that Jan has to be able to capitalize on that, like in the same way that Jan did. Um, the other thing is, I think that Jan was not just opportunistic about it; he was able to capitalize on that because I believe he'd been looking for that kind of thing the whole time. Because the thing that allows him to take Israel down. So what happened there? The thing that allowed him to take Israel down wasn't his fantastic wrestling. He had good timing on the takedowns, but it was his ability to engage and then time that takedown. So it wasn't like Izzy threw it and Jan just hoped for the best in a Hail Mary. Like that had been he'd been setting that up the whole fight. He did it in that's what he'd been looking for in varying degrees. Um, it didn't hit the head glove. This is interesting if they go to video. He was rocked way before the knee, maybe. Agree with you, though, Fab. No, he was getting the break speed off of him before the endless nameless. He's getting the break speed off him before the the knee. But fuck. Once you throw that knee, you throw that knee. It's like I don't know if we're playing soccer and the ball's been mine the whole match and I'm winning, and then I do a handball in the penalty area, then it's going to be a penalty and I could lose the fight. Um, yeah, so it didn't hit the glove first, but sorry. Yeah, but still, man, if you got a glove here and a big dude like Eryk Anders knees you in the head, he's not going to do a lot. And you got to understand, he might look soft on the screen, but a guy like Eryk Anders kneeing you, it's going to hurt, man. Does anyone remember the hilarious KO disqualification M1 in 2019 where the guy kept going down on one knee to try and get the advantage? I've seen shit like that. I don't remember that in M1, but I have seen stuff like them. Weidman versus Musasi, same story, but it didn't work in Weidman's favor. Gabriel, glad the doctor called it and didn't make Stewart decide. Yeah, no, that's got to be the doctor's call, man. That's got to be the doctor's call. I don't even understand how you can even discuss it being a fighter's call, especially if you were concussed. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Let's say you got actually concussed and you're in La La Land. You know, you wouldn't say to him, "Here, drive my kids home." You wouldn't say that. So as if you're going to say, "Hey, man, you good? You good to drive? You good to drive? You good to fight?" No. Jack the Ripper. Let's be honest, Uncle Fab. We should rewrite these rules. I think Jack the Ripper. That there are some rules that I don't like, but I think that there's always going to be rules that I don't like, and that maybe I like them, but you don't like them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think should be knees and kicks to a downed opponent, foot stomps as well. But that's me. You know what I mean? Dingus Dangus says Joe Rogan. I don't understand the thing when you say what do you mean? Jack the Ripper says, "Are you okay, sir?" Yeah, I just try to talk and drink at the same time. Didn't work out for me. Did not work out for me, sir. But I tried. I tried like nothing else. So that was a little bit disappointing, wasn't it? I'm interested to see Eryk Anders though. He looked very good. He looked very tough in there, man. But I'm just making sure that I'm got everything up to date with my fights. So it was ruled a no contest from an illegal knee. That's the official ruling, and it's fair. I mean, I'm sure they're going to have to run that back. So we'll see. Eryk Anders is a big boy, but his striking is not that fluid. And Darren Stewart, he was kind of allowed himself to get, I don't know if allowed himself, but Eryk Anders did a good job of bullying Darren Stewart up against the cage. So now we have Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Kape. So it's going to be an interesting one. First Australian, Izzy was hip feinting to getting close to Jan. As Izzy got in closer, Jan attacked the body because Izzy would lean back and move his head off the line, therefore be out of range. Small detail, but it worked. Oh, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And he landed a lot of shots on the body. That was a good call, first Australian. Landed. Another thing that Jan does is kind of like Peter Yan. He steps into his shots. Like, so he'll throw from orthodox stance, step kind of in a southpaw and throw something else again, which gives him a little bit more reach. And he was throwing that body kick always at the end of stuff. That body kick that he was landing, people don't understand. It doesn't have to land that hard. Izzy is extremely well conditioned, but it is landing on the liver, and there's not much there to stop the force of a kick, especially from someone the size of Jan. He's landing those kicks. Anders looked big. He looked fucking massive, dude. How scary is Ngannou? Says the Saint. To me, he's super scary. Jonathan Watson. How was that ruled an unintentional strike though? Stewart was immobile. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't know because I'm not in there. You know what I mean? I don't know what the ref saw or whatnot or what have you. You know, I think Jan he'd already been warned or something like that. I think I'm not sure. Cricket. The promo for Stipe versus Francis is just pure goosebumps, man. That's going to be fireworks. That one, like that's going to be crazy. Nicolau. I think the Nicolau will have a distinct advantage on the ground. So it'll be interesting to see how this fight goes and where it goes. If you cross paths with Ngannou walking down a sidewalk, what do? I look at my phone and I avoid eye contact at all, at any cost. I'd be scared that he'd eat me, man. That guy's such a scary man. So it'll be interesting to see it. I don't know. I think Oh, man, that fight, I was really interested with that Darren Stewart fight. That's one what I really wanted to see. Jack the Ripper. Ngannou hasn't showed me anything to prove the rematch will go differently. He had this power in the first fight, so I don't understand why he's the favorite. Um, I kind of agree with you, but I would dare say that his takedown defense would have had to have gotten better in this time. Like he's not stupid, since he knows that no one's really going to stand with him, and the only way that anyone's going to really beat him is by trying to take him down. So I would have to assume that he has addressed that facet of his game, um, and that he can be looking for the takedown. People, even if they don't get it, they'll be looking for the takedown. But man, Stipe's head movement in that fight was super impressive. I I think that's yeah. I'm going with Stipe as well. I'm going with Stipe. Ofon says, to be honest, Ngannou fought that fight like an idiot. He blew his gas tank in the first half of the first round. If Ofon, if Ngannou is more patient, he can catch Stipe, in my opinion. Of course, he can catch Stipe, but I also think if he allows Stipe to get a roll on, um, after about the first two rounds, the power is not the same anymore. There's a distinct difference in the power. I'm sure that Ngannou carries a lot of power later into the fight just because he's such a huge, powerful man. But if it starts going into the deeper rounds, it's going to be harder and harder for him to really take that power with him. Sasank says we need Jones versus Ngannou before Jones versus Miocic. I don't see Jones beating Ngannou, to be honest with you. I really don't. Herb Dean thought it should have continued, but the doctor overruled him. I don't think I think there should be a doctor there for a reason, and I don't think the doctor that's it. I don't see how the ref could say, yeah, you can continue. The last wrestler that Ngannou has faced was Velasquez, and that was only 50 seconds. Wonder how Stipe is going to find an opening for a takedown. Stipe can also box Francis, but he needs to be careful. Yeah, but Kane blew his knee out in that fight too. Like that wasn't a real accurate representation of um, what and who Cain Velasquez was when he was the man. So that's not Francis's fault either. Johnny Watson says, I want to see Lewis win the heavyweight title simply because it would be the stupid possible outcome. I disagree with you, Johnny. Like, I mean, he's a guy that carries a shit ton of power, at any stage, so he can hit people very, very hard and knock them out. So I wouldn't be that overly surprised if he was to, string a couple of good wins together. Although I think there's much more skilled heavyweights. Um, Crazy to think Stipe is a champ and he's still underrated. Agreed, says from Lewis. AY says Aljamain lost because he gassed. He only had success against Jan because of his crazy pace. Basically, he's completely screwed next fight. There is some elements of truth to what you're saying. I think that the erratic, fast pace that he set is what kind of threw Jan off. But the thing is, man, he was throwing big knees, man, big knees, big shots at Jan, and Jan, being who he was able to take it and keep his composure. But having said that, um, you come out and fight like that, it's extremely unpredictable. It will gas you. You're not going to fight 5 rounds like that, but it's unpredictable, and you might catch him. So what do we got here? Ofon says, I can't believe this happened a week after Aljo Jan. Yeah, it's crazy, It's crazy. Suleiman Douglas says, hi, Grange. Sorry, just went, hi, Grange, just passing through. Who you got for the main fight? I don't know, man, because to me, Edwards is an enigma. I haven't seen Edwards for a long time. I've seen Belal fight. I think Belal comes forward very, 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 very strong, comes with a lot of pressure, but he was in a fight with Lima a few weeks ago, and Lima kicked the shit out of his legs too, so I don't know how he'll be looking. 12 Gotcha, same question. I don't know how he'll be looking in this fight. Is Edwards going to be able to be the matador to Belal's bull? I do not know. Ophonson's strange thing is it seems Lewis carries his power into later rounds better than Ngannou. Yeah, he's also a lot less active though. If you notice, like he's a lot less active. Like Lewis will be happy to just stand there for a while and not do much, get held up against the cage, not do a lot, and then throw his bombs. Ofon says, I think Aljo can point fight for the first 3 rounds, and a few of the knees did land. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think I do agree with that. Jack the Ripper says, don't shoot me, but I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Garner versus Lewis too. I know the first fight was bad, but come on, let's give it one more shot. Yeah, I'd watch that. JT0624 put in some interesting things there. Kane told her one of the Francis clipped him with an uppercut, causing a flash knockdown that made him go limp for a second and mess his knee up. He awoke when he landed on the floor. There you go. But at the end of the day, his knee did go to shit. You know what I mean? It's not like even he could wake up in the flash knockout and his knee was all right. His knee blew to bits. Lewis CC, you have to watch the Derek Lewis Joe Rogan podcast. It was amazing. It provides a good insight into Lewis' overall life and his views on MMA. Okie dokie. AY says, if you watch the replay, Kane got hit with an uppercut gone for the takedown, which led to his knees buckling. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. But it wasn't, his knees didn't just buckle like he got knocked out. It blew his knee to bits. Would you like to see grounded knees, soccer kicks allowed in the UFC? Johnny Watson. Yes, I would. John Dagan, I have Manel, Kape. To be honest, Nicolau is a talented fighter, but apparently he's chinny. And Kape hits very hard for that division. Dingus, everybody talk about Stipe versus Ngannou. I'm just really excited for Volk versus Ortega. Going to be a great one. I think both those fights are going to be pretty crazy. Joseph, hey coach, how's your week going? How's school? Almost missed the show. Glad I saw the notification. Hashtag Fabolites. Thank you, Joseph. Yeah, everything's going good, man. Week's been good. Everything's going pretty good. How are you guys? Lewis CC. Kape has a lot of power for a flyweight. I'm calling a knockout. Definitely could happen, gentlemen. Almost don't want to see Lewis versus Ngannou happen unless it's for a belt. Lewis is a fan favorite. Miocic still ate Ngannou's punches that fight, says Sasank. Ofon, and I'm from Houston too. I like Lewis, but Rogan had to carry that podcast. Laugh out loud, says John Danon. Ofon says Sasank, gee, he only ate a clean one in the 3rd or 4th round when Ngannou was way slower and weaker. Look, I think all of that talk, regardless, if he eats something flush of Francis in the first couple of rounds, it's going to be a bad thing for Stipe. You know, that's the truth. Having said that, this is heavyweight, and Stipe's punch is hard enough, you know, to hurt Francis as well. So that wouldn't surprise me. He knows how to punch. He can punch well. He's got a nice little short, sharp punch down the middle. He hits hard. We're off, people. Inside leg kick landed by Nicolau. Nicolau in the orthodox stance to Kape's southpaw. Nicolau fainting. There's a bit of mutual respect here. Kape's holding the center of the octagon. He's definitely the bigger hitter out of the two, I'd say. Nicolau doing a good job of getting his foot outside of the lead foot of Kape's. And he goes for the takedown. He threw a little hand down the middle, and then he went for that takedown, but Kape was able to slide out of the way. I think there was a small eye gouge there, but they touched hands and they keep going. Kape looks like a very, very, very strong guy for this weight division. Ooh, ducks under a Kape hook, under a little check hook that Kape threw as Nicolau stepped in. Inside leg kick again landed by Nicolau. And he's landed that flush 2 times now. There's 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first round. Now he feints on that leg kick, and he's got Kape biting on the feint of that leg kick with the hip feints. So he's able to feint, and that gives him a little bit of space there against Kape. Kape's looking to come in. He's looking to come in with some shots. Now Kape has switched to orthodox and now switched back to southpaw. Nicolau's doing a good job. When he gets that foot outside, he's able to land. Oh, he's gone for the double leg, but Kape has defended this well. Nice little body lock. Nicely done by Nicolau. The way he did that too. Wow, he slid that knee in very, very nicely from the double leg. I thought he was going to try and keep that knee up, but he actually slid it down and he was able to get the body lock. Now he's landed in half guard and he's got the good shoulder pressure, good shoulder control. He's showing off that he's very, very intelligent here because he definitely has the jiu-jitsu to have advanced himself, but he also knows that Kape is still pretty fresh and he's going to be very strong. And so he didn't get greedy. He went to half guard, used that as a Turk ride. He's in the full guard now. He's gone back to half guard. He's keeping that underhook. He's got like a little cow catcher here. Now he's let it go. He's looking for the wrist control. He's gone back to that one-handed guillotine cow catcher kind of thing that he has. And it's a cow catcher because he's got the underhook on the other side. Now he's gone for the guillotine, but they're both dry. They're both fresh. Oh, it's in deep. It's in deep. He's got an arm in guillotine. Oh, no, Kape's got his head out. Kape's got his head out. Kape is super strong. Super, super strong. He's holding the leg up. He's looking to land shots. Now he's Kape. But that guillotine was in deep, man. Right hand landed by Nicolau. Now, Kape's been on the ground. He survived it. And Nicolau's had him on the ground. And he got off as a good submission attempt. So I don't know who's got the more confidence after that exchange. Inside leg kick again landed by Nicolau. Nicolau skirting the perimeter of the cage. Kape comes in with a flying knee, gets taken down by a single leg. Nicolau took the single leg and ran the pipe. It's definitely 1 minute, 20 seconds to go. This is going to be definitely Nicolau's round. And he has landed some nice inside low kicks. And he's content to sit in the guard, land a little bit of ground and pound. Nice. He's doing a good job. Once you open your guard like that, you have to either get your feet on the hips, go for a submission attempt, kick off, stand up. Nicolau's smart, man. He's just wearing him out. He's not trying to, do anything crazy where Kape can get away. He's just, there's 38 seconds to go. He's going to make him work. He's staying in the guard. He's not looking to pass the guard. He just wants to use up some of Kape's power on the ground, and he's landing some good little body shots, good little bit of ground and pound. He knows that Kape's not going to get a submission from him, although Kape's attempted a couple of submissions, but he's not going to get that armbar. Nicolau can see that armbar coming from a mile away, and he's able to land some really good little elbows. Now he's got Kape's head pressed up against the cage, and this is a very awkward place to be. Because you can't use your hips anymore. And Kape's jiu-jitsu wasn't anywhere near the level of Nicolau's even to begin with. But now with the heads pressed against the cage like that, you can't use it at all. That's a time. That's a belt. Okay. I'm just going forward to see where we're kind of at now. Kind of crazy that UFC was considering Manel Kape to be the replacement fighter for the Figgy Moreno fight. Okay. May I ask you guys to name the fight you were once sure was going to end up a certain way, but didn't? I thought Wonderboy was going to annihilate Pettis, and then he got KO'd. I'll never bet on fights. Laugh out loud, says Ophon. Yeah, man, there's a lot of those fights. Hey, there's a lot of those fights. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to name too many. Yeah, too many for me to name like that. So we are off, people. We're about to start. And we're off. In the second round. Nicolau has really impressed me this fight. If he can get Kape down again early in this round, I think he'll take a lot of the power from Kape, and I do think that that'll be almost pretty much the wrap. My computer keeps freezing. Does anyone else's stream freeze? Because it's not my computer per se, it's just the stream. Oh, exchange there, and Kape got the better of the exchange against Nicolau. Nicolau is definitely hurt by that exchange. Kape can smell a little bit of danger. Nicolau goes diving for a single leg, misses it. Kape's looking for it. He sensed that he hurt Nicolau. He hurt him again. He hurt him again with a left hook. Nicolau's backed himself up against the cage. Kape keeps looking for it. Nicolau waves him on. Exchange by both guys, but in every exchange, Kape gets the better of it. Ooh. Kape is getting the better of it. He's much more powerful. He's got faster hands too. Oh, nice little left hand down by Nicolau. Kape goes swinging in with an uppercut and a left hook and misses them both. Another left hook landed by Kape. Definitely landed that one with some force on Nicolau. Nicolau's backed himself up against the cage. He's skirting the outside of the octagon. He's still in the orthodox stance, as is Kape in his southpaw. Now Nicolau lands a right hand on Kape, but Kape takes it flush. Nicolau's looking for the takedown as well. But Kape has definitely managed to land some good power. And, exchange one good punch there to the body and another left hand straight to the head by Nicolau. By Kape, sorry. Right jab landed by Kape. Nicolau skirts the outside of the octagon. They exchange, but Kape again gets the better of it. 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go. Inside leg kick landed by Kape. It's going to get harder and harder for Nicolau to get this fight to the ground as of now. Kape has found his rhythm and he's found his distance and he's able to hit Nicolau almost with impunity. Nicolau's still landing some shots on Kape as he did then with a little kind of switch hook thing that he threw, but it just doesn't have the power anymore. And Kape has got the measure. Now both men in the orthodox stance. He's just got the measure of Nicolau does Kape. And Nicolau is landing that left hand now himself from the southpaw stance, but nice knee tap. He gets Kape to the ground, but Kape straight back up. Nice right hand landed by Nicolau, but Kape walks straight through it. He's not respecting the power at all of Nicolau. Inside leg kick landed by Kape. And Nicolau still skirting the outside of the octagon. Nice little check hook landed by Kape. This round is all Kape. All Kape. So it's a round apiece if this stays exactly how it is with 124 seconds going into the second round. Big shots landed again by Kape. Kape's landed 30 significant strikes to Nicolau's 9 in this round. That is a lot of shots to absorb. A lot. Kape goes looking for a right hand. Ooh, threw a calf kick, did Nicolau. Fell on into his bottom, and Kape signals for him to get back up. Kape's looking very, very composed in this round. Nicolau again skirting the outside of the octagon. Kape definitely pressuring him, coming forward, taking the little hooks that Nicolau is able to give him, but he just walking straight through him. Landed another hook, did Nicolau, but it just looks like it does nothing to Kape, and Kape just able to walk straight through it. Goes looking for a flying knee, does Kape. Oh, right hand landed by Kape. Not flush, but it keeps Nicolau on the cage. Now Kape throws a spinning attack and lands on his back, and that is the round, ladies and gentlemen, which I've scored all for Kape. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm going to miss a few of the comments, but I've got to kind of get to where we're at to, and yeah, otherwise I'm going to miss anyone else. Okay. So interesting. A says GG, I hate the trend of anything Conor doing becoming gospel, like shoulder strikes. People were doing calf kicks before and will be afterwards. People were throwing shoulder strikes way before Conor McGregor, too. Nothing against Conor, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying. John Danon says first round Capers won in the UFC. Really? I didn't know this. That is the well, he won that round clearly. So that's a 1 round apiece, in my opinion, to the both guys. We're about to kick off. We're off, people. We're off. Sorry, guys. I had to skip a few of the comments. Hey, nothing against you. Please feel free to comment again, and we'll try and think. But I didn't want to. I didn't want to be too far behind the fight, and what people might be commenting about the fight. Inside leg kick landed by Kape again. 4:43 seconds to go in the third round. Nicolau lands another inside leg kick himself, but Kape keeps coming forward. Kape in the southpaw stance now to Nicolau's orthodox. Again, right to the body, left hook is Nicolau's combination of choice, and he's landing them. This is the problem. He's landing them, and it does nothing to Kape. But all it takes is for it to land right on the chin, and it can hit your button right there and then. Kape is in that scenario. Then Kape rolled out of it and slid out of the way, so that was good work by Kape. Inside leg kick by Kape. Inside leg kick attempt by Nicolau goes missing, but then he's able to feint on it. Makes Kape bite and hits him with a nice left hook. So what he did, he went for the feint with the low kick, stepped forward, then he closed that distance and he hit Kape with a left hook, and that one affected him. Then he hit him with a right hook again just now as we were talking, and that one seemed to have rocked Kape a little bit more. These front kicks are starting to land a little bit better for Nicolau. So he made some adjustments. Interesting. I have it around a piece, and this one a lot closer. Nice jab landed by Kape. Let's see. He can't give up too much of the inside of the octagon. He's trying all he can to take Kape down. He's hanging onto that single leg. Kape did a fantastic job of stopping the takedown. Nicolau is on his back. Kape is kicking the legs. I wonder if Kape is going to engage here with Nicolau, or if he's going to try and run out the clock from this position as Nicolau kicks the legs as well of Kape. But this definitely doesn't look good for Nicolau on the judges' scorecards, even though not much damage is being done by either guy, realistically. Nicolau's signaling for him to come down into his guard. Kape doesn't want it. Interesting, though. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. At this stage, pretty much could be anyone's fight. But on the feet, I definitely give the advantage to Kape. Gets hit with a high kick then, but with not much on it by Nicolau. Nicolau seems to be trying to take a bit more of the center of the octagon than he did, than he capitulated before. Nice inside low kick landed by Nicolau, which drops Kape. But Kape straight back to his feet, gets hit with a little left hook on the exit. Both exchange. Kape's still got a lot of power in his punches. Nice right hand landed by Nicolau. Again, both these guys exchanging. Nicolau is now taking up the center of the octagon more than he did in the second round. This could be the deciding factor if he can start pushing Kape back. Kape, very, very powerful. Very, very powerful man. Now Nicolau's starting to lose a little bit of the respect for Kape's power that Kape may have had in the first and second rounds, which he obviously had in the first and second rounds because he's a very, very strong guy. But now Nicolau's standing more in the center of the octagon and he's having more of a boxing match with him. And the punches don't seem to be coming with the same power that they were early on. 1-2 landed by Nicolau, but Kape's got such a good chin. 1:14 to go. I can't call this round, to be honest with you. I had it around a piece going into the third, and now it's pretty close. One minute to go. Head kick by Kape. Good little exchange there. Kape got the better of it. Level change by Nicolau, defense by Kape. Now Kape moves Nicolau back into to the outside of the octagon. Nicolau goes shooting for a double leg. Kape defends it. They end up in a body lock and they fight out of the exchange. Kape has got a chin on him. He's been taking shot after shot from Nicolau. I think someone said here that Nicolau doesn't have a good chin, but he's taken some shots from Kape. He is big knee landed to the body by Kape. Oh my god, I felt that here. Oh, Nicolau lands a spinning elbow on Kape. Nothing seems to hurt Kape's head. 1 second ago, that's the round. I think Kape may have edged that one. That spinning elbow was good, man. Yeah, Nicolau hurts Kape every time. I agree with you, Jason Correa, but he doesn't hurt him. I know what you're saying, but he doesn't seem to hurt him. I've also heard people complain about calf kicks before Poirier fight. I can't remember who though. Sorry. Hey, man, a lot of people have calf kicked. Hey, yeah, like a lot of people. First Australian. Speaking of John, he's looking jacked lately. It'll be interesting to see how he carries the weight. Yes, sir. I agree. That's a lot of muscle for a thin frame to carry around. Ofon. If you're talking about John Jones, he hasn't got a thin frame, man. He's a huge guy. Like I met him in real life as well. He's a fucking monster. He's like a proper huge man. Like not he doesn't like when you look at him, you're like, oh, he's skinny. Nah, he's a huge man. I've seen him cut, like I've seen him do his weight cuts and everything to light heavyweight. He's a big guy. Yeah, 250 might be a bit heavy for John, I think. So I had Nicolau by a hair, but it could go either way. David Morris, that's David Morris said that. I don't know who won that fight. I have no idea who won that fight. I was just watching it as a fan. Gigi says, Fab, what do you think of former K1 star Ren Hiramoto saying, guy just spamming the fake kick was making the sport of kickboxing boring? He was specifically talking about Rise 146. I didn't see Rise 146. I can't really comment on that. I don't think anything ruins the sport like in the fight. I think there's a lot of other things that can ruin the sport. If you fake a kick and the guy's biting on your feints, then I don't think that's ruining the sport. But having said that, I haven't seen the fight, so I can't talk too much out of school. Okay, so um, the other fellow won, Nicolau won, and he won't shake the hand of Kape. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. This is how I saw the fight. I saw the fight, and this is why it's interesting, and everyone will shit on the judges and blah, blah, blah. The first round, I thought Nicolau won that clear. The second round was won clearly by Kape by a further margin than Nicolau won the first, right? More damage, etc. The third round was pretty even. I thought Kape had a little more on his punches, but I also feel that Nicolau did enough. Like he came at him with the volume and he came with him, like I think Jason Correa was saying, he was hurting him, man. He was hurting him. I didn't think he was hurting him, but he was landing the shots, man. And you can't really complain if someone's landing shots on you. He landed shots on you. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna go get a green tea. A says, Fab, how do you think John will go? I think John is highly, highly skilled. I think he's a very, very good fighter, very, very strong, physically strong individual, very, very tactically and technically smart. I think it's a right move to make in this point of his career. He's done everything he's going to do at light heavyweight. And as you get older, your bone density increases and whatnot. And probably the weight cut starts to get harder and harder. One of the things that I don't like for him is he's not a big puncher, and you're going to struggle in the heavier weights, not having that crazy punching power that being a big puncher. He could get away with not being a big puncher at light heavyweight because he had that reach and whatnot. So I think skill wise, he's always going to be a fantastic fighter, but I think he'll probably struggle in the upper echelons with some of those guys that are good wrestlers and big punchers. So Sank says Jones has thin legs. He's got thin legs. He's got thin calves. You know what I mean? He's a big boy, man. I'm telling you right now, he's a big fucking boy. Bodybuilding News says both his brothers were in the NFL. Yes, sir. Oh, GG calf kick, not the fake kick. Whoops. Yeah, no. Well, then how's a calf kick ruining the sport? You know what I mean? I don't know in what context did he mean the calf kick is ruining the sport? Because to me, the calf kick hits a very vulnerable spot, and it's a hard thing to defend. But it's real and it's there and it's always been there, and people have been calf kicking for a long time. It's just like I said, I think in MMA there's a little bit of a difference because you're not standing, and you can't stand like in your nice Muay Thai stance where the calf kick is a lot harder to land in Muay Thai. But even in kickboxing, they still land the calf kicks, just not the same way. And you can have a guy that's a really good wrestler and really good boxer, right? And he could have won the title, but his kickboxing is still very, it's not that good, and then he could fight a good wrestler kickboxer guy, and the Achilles heel that the first guy has are calf kicks, and the disparity will be huge, and you'll be able to land that calf kick over and over and over. Mr. Always says, notice how slippery the canvas is lately. Seems a lot slip. Hold on 1 second. Thank you very much. Come here. Oh, yes. Any questions for the guest commentator? This person knows all there is to know about MMA. So if you have any questions, anything you need answered, please ask it. So A says, Max says the same thing about Alex's kicks. What is it that he's saying about Alex's kicks? I'm not exactly sure. I didn't see. Sorry, I had to kind of fast forward past a few things. Very good. Leon Edwards is just making his entrance into the not into the octagon, into the arena at the moment. Yeah, it was a close fight. John Danon, see, that's the thing. I could say to you, I thought Kape won as well, but I don't think necessarily that was the case. Hanoi Tripper says, do you reckon Sam Greco could have been half decent at MMA? I think Sam Greco was more than half decent at MMA. Or was that a question that they're designed for Little Ite? Because I think Sam Greco was very good. I think it was a different era as well. Had he have come through this era, then he probably would have done very, very well. Okay, I'm just going to pass her along. Ben says, close fight, but personally don't like the decision. No, I thought it was. I had Kape winning, right? I did have Kape winning as far as but I can't say to you it was like a fucking robbery or anything like that. John Dennon, I thought Kape's damaging shots at the end cemented him winning the third round. Like I said, I thought he had a lot more on his punches than Nicolau did. But yeah, you can't get hit as well as much as he got hit. That's another truth as well. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading through. Hey Fab, thoughts on Stipe Francis rematch? Francis has always got that crazy, crazy power, but I think Stipe has more ways to win. That doesn't mean that it makes him less or more dangerous, but I think he's got more ways to win. But the way that Francis can win is is pretty incredible. But if he can get away from that, I think Stipe. James Adjustman, Rocky the Rock Salt Lamp makes an appearance. What a salt lamp it is. Um, Martinez is a silent assassin. Yeah, he's pretty good, that cat. John Donham, notice how less biased and more professional commentary team is tonight because of Rogan's absence. No, I can't hear him. You know what I mean? I can only watch it. Jack the Ripper. Do you know Dan Kelly? I was such a big fan of his, especially coming from such a high level in judo. Unfortunately, started taking MMA serious later in life. Do I know Dan? Yeah, I know him. Like, we're not like best friends or anything, but I could message him now if I wanted to. Like, we're not like best mates, but if we see each other and that, yeah, we talk and that. He's man, Dan Kelly. Honestly, he's in Melbourne, but if if I lived in Melbourne, I would take my kids to train with Dan Kelly for sure, 1,000,000,000,000%. I recommend Dan Kelly as a coach. I think that what he knows in grappling and in fighting and that is just fantastic. You know, just like he's a wealth of knowledge. That guy, you know, he just started MMA a little later. Again, like somebody asked that about Sam Greco. Like had he started MMA earlier, and had it been now because he's like 40 something now. But had he be if he was 25 today with his judo and his ability and everything, Dan Kelly would have been an absolute force in MMA. You just saw him at the end of his career, kind of thing. Ofan, cute girl, Fab. Thank you, sir. Cricket. To be honest, that's the key when facing Holloway. It's either going to be a technical battle or a war. And I don't think many would want a war with Holloway unless you're Dustin Poirier. Yeah, I think Holloway's no fucking joke, man. Holloway's one of the best to ever do it. GG, I think the context was kickboxers just being lazy with a game plan and relying on calf kicks to get it done. GG, I wasn't there, I didn't hear it, I don't know the context. But if I was a fighter, kickboxer, whatever, and I go out there and I cuff kick you and you don't check it, and I don't have to game plan and I can just kick the shit out of your legs, joke's on you, not on me. And I get it done. That's awesome. Jack the Ripper. What an absolute doll. Beautiful family, Uncle Fab. You're a lucky one. Jack the Ripper, mate, I'll tell you something. I'll genuinely tell you this. Honestly, I don't know why my wife is with me. Honestly, I don't know what she was thinking. Honestly, my wife is like, I'd say about 15 levels above me, and my daughter looks like my wife. So yeah, so I'm very lucky, very, very, very lucky. Um, I'm hoping that she never goes to therapy and works out why she's with me. I'd rather she just stays with me. So I'm very, very lucky. Anyone remember the famous US kickboxer versus Muay Thai champ back in like the 80s or 90s? Is that the one where the guy did the ring kickboxing and they weren't able to kick the legs and the Thai guy kicked the shit out of the legs? Is that the one? Jason Correa, she wants the headphones. Yes, sir. Yes, she does. She kills me. She's the best. Ha ha ha. A ball of chaos. She is a ball of chaos. First Australian. I just think the level of kickboxing in Oceania is levels above anywhere else but Asia, and it's showing the UFC. Izzy, Alex, Rob are very good kickboxers and are elite level fighters in the UFC. Yes, they are. Look, I don't know if First Australian, I don't know if we're levels above everyone else because the Dutch have very, very good kickboxing. Europeans have very good kickboxing. But I think that we've always been underrated for whatever reason. I mean, we live in the arse end of the world, so it's always been underrated. Where like you can get such good training here in Australia and New Zealand, like that's you don't have to be overseas, you know. Um, and so that's always been underrated. I definitely think it's been underrated. I don't think we're levels above everywhere else though. I think Brazil, Holland, they still have very good kickboxing. We're off, people. But it's a good point as First Australian. I do agree to a certain extent. We're off. Martinez is in the southpaw stance, and Grant is in the orthodox stance. He has hit Martinez already low with a couple on the calf. And Martinez goes looking for a high kick. It's funny, neither one of these dudes, if these guys were driving along and some guy was being a smartass on the road, and one of these guys jumped out, you would not think that either one of these guys is going to make you shit into a nappy for 6 months if you don't get back in your car. They look like computer guys. They're trading kicks now. They're trading kicks down the middle. They're trading kicks up high, kicks down the front kicks down the middle by Martinez. Grant goes looking for a side kick up high. Martinez goes looking for a left high kick. Now Grant comes in throwing combinations, but gets hit with a nice jab by Martinez for his trouble. And then a stinging low kick landed on the inside of Grant's leg. Grant with a spinning heel kick. None of which are landing flush, by the way, rather than the kicks. Nice stepping in side kick to the hip of Martinez. This is looking almost like a Taekwondo match. Grant's landing side kicks, and he went looking for a combination of punches. We got ourselves a Taekwondo match here, people. Grant lands an outside leg kick, right hand down the middle, front kick up the middle. Now Grant switches and gets hit by a calf kick of Martinez. Inside calf kick landed by Grant. Nice exchange. Martinez gets a better of it with the left hand down the middle. Front kick down the middle by Grant. Goes looking for a spinning heel kick to the hips. 2 calf kicks landed in succession, one in the southpaw stance and one in the orthodox stance. Martinez on Grant. Big swing punches by Grant, taking on the gloves of Martinez. Outside calf kick landed by Grant. Grant goes again looking for a spinning heel kick. Gets hit with a front kick down the middle by Martinez. Ooh, nice calf kick landed there by Martinez. High kick, Martinez goes looking for it. Inside calf kick landed by Grant. Then on the arms of Martinez, a high kick landed by Grant. These guys' legs are going to be sore tomorrow, man, because they're kicking and they're landing on each other's legs and calves and knees and elbows and forearms, and they're still kicking. They're kicking. And they're landing, the calf kicks are landing on each other's calves. Grant doesn't seem to throw with a whole lot of power when he throws up high. Oblique kick attempt by Grant, then answered again with the same kick by Martinez. Grant he throws like these awkward kicks, and you know what throws you off? It's the timing of the kicks. Because they're like slow, man. And he punches kind of slow, but it throws you off. It throws me off anyways, watching. But he has seemed to have slowed down a tad. Grant. As Martinez lands another calf kick. 1 minute, 11 seconds to go in the first round. Alphonse says, got to be happy for the judges that just got enough money for a new Volkswagen, though. Stephen R. Nicolau did show more sense of urgency in the last round. I had Kape. Stephen R. You know what? I agree exactly with what you said. I had Kape winning it, but I did think that Nicolau showed the greater urgency and he got after a little bit more. Is that enough to win the round? I don't know. I'm not a judge, but it was close. These guys continue to kick at each other. It's a very close round. Oh, Martinez lands a shot right at the end of this round. There's 22 seconds to go. Is he going to be able to get enough ground and pound going here? He's won this round now. It was a very close round. I was about to say it's a super close round. Then he landed a left hand down the pipe. He's not going to finish the fight here. There's 11 seconds to go. He's going to smother him. But that gets him the round very, very clearly. 3 seconds to go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the round. Nice work. James Adjustment says, it's actually so bizarre seeing something so cute coming from Fab. I don't even know if it's from me, man. It doesn't even look like me. She doesn't even look like me. Good for her, though. You know how hard it is to get through life looking like me as a man? Imagine having to be a little girl and look like me. You don't want that shit. So I'm glad she looks like a mom. B. Johnson says, I think Volkanovski matches up fantastic against Ortega. Easy title defense for him, in my opinion. Look, I'll be honest with you. This is what I think about this. And I worked with Volkanovski a little bit for about 6 weeks, a while back now. I didn't work with him in the camp or anything. I just worked with him here because we live near each other. And I can't talk about it too much. The same way people ask me shit about Rob, or they ask me what happened in this or what. I can't talk about that stuff, But I will say this: I think Max is more versatile than Ortega. At least he was. But the thing that I think with Ortega is the way that he can win against everybody else. It's much more skewed to his favor. We're off, guys, in the second round. So his jiu-jitsu is much better than everybody else's, Is that, and does that mean he's going to get it to the ground and win? No. But I do think his jiu-jitsu is a lot better than everybody else's. Having said that, I don't know that, like, Alex is very underrated, dude. Very, very underrated. That's all I can say. I can't talk too much about guys that I work or I have worked with. I don't work with Alex anymore. If I see him, like, we're still good in that, but I was only going to work with him for 6 to 8 weeks anyways. I think I worked with him for about 8. But he's very, very good, man. Very, very underrated. That's all I can say. Davey goes looking for a takedown. Not successful. 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Martinez shucks off the takedown attempt. Davey goes looking for a right hand. Martinez hits him with a left hand. So Martinez has shown him that he can drop him. Davey walks forward, swinging big shots to the body. Now the guys have gone away from kicking and they're starting throwing big shots at each other. Now they've gone back to kicking. Martinez still in the southpaw stance. Let me see. What do we got here? What camp or coach would you recommend a young Aussie fighter go to train with? I think, honestly, if I'm going to answer that question honestly, I would say to you, it depends what level you're at. I would say to you, the best thing to do is find yourself a good jiu-jitsu gym wherever you want to go. Wherever they depends on where you live as well, because I don't know where you live. But I'd say find yourself a good jiu-jitsu gym, go and do jiu-jitsu, compete as much as you possibly can. And find a good boxing gym. Go down to a local PCYC, learn to punch straight, learn the good, solid fundamentals of punching. That's going to carry through very, very far. Have a whole bunch of fights. Have 20 or 30, 40, 50 amateur boxing fights. And you're going to learn quick, smart around the way there if that's what you want to do. And join a wrestling gym. Find somewhere where they wrestle and go and wrestle. And once you've started to understand those things, you'll start to pick up other things and form a team around yourself, or you'll gravitate towards a team of like-minded individuals. That'd be my advice. So and it's cost effective too. Wrestling gym at a PCYC will cost you, next to nothing, $5 a visit probably, and same with the boxing, might cost you $5, $6, $7 a visit. And fuck, you could just do that with just wrestling and boxing, and you'll find out quick, smart if that's what you want to do. Martinez seems to have copped a couple of shots then while we were talking about that. Grant's getting the better in this round. He's 18-8 in significant strikes, and he does seem to be landing. Oh, he melted him. He melted Martinez. Oh my God. Oh, he hit him with a right hand to the spleen, and then we hit him with a huge shot over the top. But I think it was a shot to the body as well. The shot to the body seemed to have stopped him and slowed him down a bit. But then the shot to the head melted him, just completely melted him. My God. Wow. And the kind of timing that Grant has on his punches, it's weird, man. It's weird. It looks slow. It looks slow and soft, and he kind of swings him and pulls him, hits him with a casting punch. My God. But he got him good to the spleen, got him good. And then that left, boom, boom. Oh my God. The timing and the awkwardness of the angle with which Grant fights is really, really weird. It's awkward. Boom, that one to the body, and then boom, melted him, completely melted him. Wow. Gigi, laugh out loud. I agree with you about the calf kicks. Just thought it was interesting. I find it interesting as well that he would say that. But who knows as well, man? You don't know why people say what they say. You know, you just don't know. Um, Strings Snare says, thanks for doing this. I'm 33. Is it too late to start training MMA? I did Kyokushin for a couple of years when I was in my teens. Yeah, look, man, is it too late to start training MMA? No. Like, you can train MMA. Do you want to fight if you're starting at 33 and try and make a career out of it and damage your body and your brain and that? That's my advice would be no. You know what I mean? But like, is it too late to start training? No, never too late to start training. And Kyokushin's another thing. There's another thing. You're asking what, it depends what's around. If you have a good Kyokushin school near you or something, go and do a couple of different effective martial arts, and you start to put it together, and you work out where you want to be. Where you want to go. My God, Davey Grant's foot looks shot. Oh, Gigi says I've never seen Leon fight before. He can fight, man. Not the biggest puncher. He's not the biggest puncher, but he makes you walk onto that elbow, his left elbow. He throws that, mate, spot on. Not the biggest puncher though. He smoked RDA. Yeah, he got the better of RDA. Yes, he did. Coach, do you think the UFC should just follow the 1FC scoring system? I mean, it would make sense to score the fight at its entirety. It gives more credence to significant strikes. Yes, I was a big. Yes and no. Like, I mean, they're different audiences as well. But when you judge a fight by its entirety, it's still subjective. It is still subjective. And I remember before 1FC used that criteria, Pride used that criteria. And in Japan, they use that criteria a lot. And I don't, there was still bad calls. There was still bad calls. RDA can't catch a break recently, but that was a while ago though. Cricket says you gotta love Bisping. He's saying he stole Luke Rockhold's friendship from DC. Martinez is a scary dude. He just walks forward no matter what. But then he got dropped. David Morris. So you still recommend training separately in different disciplines? I think fundamentally you should. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard for you to come. Like, none of the guys that you see that are up in the upper echelons don't train in individual disciplines. Like, it's you really need to get the depth in that field. Like, it's a you need to be able to know how to punch and move and whatnot, and you need to be able to know how to kick and move and thing. And there's a big difference boxing with a boxer and boxing with MMA guys. Big fucking difference. And the better you are at boxing with boxers, the better you're going to be at boxing MMA guys. Then of course you're going to have to put it all together. There's no joke about that. But yeah, you should still be training in individual disciplines. Yeah, that KO is pretty crazy. A says Leon has amazing defense and timing. Yes, he does. Games you love says Leon will beat Usman in the rematch. I'd like to see that fight. The problem is I think that Leon just doesn't really punch as hard as he could. Like, or should. I don't know, could or should. But other than that, I think he's very, very good. He does have an 8-second KO, but I'm pretty sure it's from a high kick. And I'm not saying he can't punch, dude. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying he can't punch, but he doesn't punch. He's not a huge puncher. It's not like if you look down his record, he's got a whole bunch of KOs in the UFC from punches. If I think Leon could throw huge punches, he just fights responsibly. So I just think he fights responsibly. I'm sure Fab can say it better. Irfan. Look, I'm sure that Leon can punch. Like, don't take what I say literally. But he hasn't got a whole list of knockouts. I'm sure if you walk into one of his left hands, you're going to sleep. You know what I mean? But he hasn't got heaps and heaps of KOs by punches. Games you love, dude. Usman's chin is unreal. Those shots he took from Burns, yeah, that was pretty crazy. Games you love, he has a good straight left. Watch out for that. No, he definitely can fight, mate. I'm not saying Leon can't fight. He's one of my favorites, actually. A says Fab's actually about to catch up to the chat. Oh my god. Games you love. His style has become more reserved since he joined the UFC. Become more reserved, and also the level of competition goes up. So that's two different things, you know. Um, and you become more reserved because your level of competition goes up. It's not easy, you know. And don't get me wrong, him not having the biggest punching, the biggest punches or whatever in the thing, he's actually always been one of my favorite fighters. I love his style. I love his methodical approach. I love that he systematically breaks people down. Um, I love the way he fights. Honestly, one of my favorite fighters. And I don't think many people outstrike him, having said that. Um, so, yeah, I'm all about it, mate. All about it. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Angela Hill removes Monster Energy drink and disses Han Molenkamp at post-fight press conference. I don't know about that. What's your take on John Jones' doping violations? Do they diminish his achievements? Well, I, you know, I don't think you. I'm not a fan of it. You read into that as you will. Jason Correa, oh my god, the color on that foot. Yeah, the foot was crazy. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So what do we got now? Dan Ige versus Gavin Tucker. Man, this card moving along slowly, or is it just me? Man, this will be a good fight. The Gavin Tucker versus Dan Ige fight. I rate Gavin Tucker as well. Eh? Now the other question, you're saying should people train in individual styles? I think yes, but aside from that, he asked because the question specifically was, what recommendation would I give a young guy that wants to start MMA? And that's what I'm saying to you. Like to me, the first thing would be is like, do you even want to fight? And you're going to find that out real quick if you join a boxing gym and you go and wrestle and whatnot. You're going to find that out, and you're going to build a lot of character in the wrestling gym, in the wrestling room, and you're going to find out what you want to do, and that's going to be relatively quick. Lazy Sunday slowness. A says I hate John Jones because he has undeniable skill. He's very skillful, but I'll tell you this, man. I'm not talking about John Jones. I'm just talking in general. Like the main thing that enhanced testosterone does is protein synthesis and allows you to recover. So you're able to do more sessions than everybody else. You know what I mean? So instead of you can recover, you get more out of every session. And let's say you can actually do 1 or 2 extra sessions a week, then you know, sum that up over the course of a couple of years. So it's a huge advantage, man. Yeah, it's a huge advantage. Brunson or Holland next week? I don't know, man. I don't know because they're both kind of erratic as well. Brunson's improved a lot, I think, with experience and whatnot, but they're both kind of erratic, kind of like, or like you can't really gauge him. If Holland beats Brunson, I'll be impressed. I'll be properly impressed. Um, he beat Jacare, which I didn't think he was going to do, but different. I don't know that Brunson's going to do what Jacare did. I don't know, and I don't know that he's going to. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't pick out of those two. Anabolic steroids also increase muscle mass. The reason they increase muscle mass is because of protein synthesis, your ability to recover, which is when the muscle grows. Um, but Jones actually tested positive for an estrogen enhancer, I think, which is strange. I don't know that he tested positive for an estrogen enhancer. I don't know this. But if you say he did, maybe he did. But it wouldn't be surprising when you're taking all kinds of different stuff like to level out your body and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. That doesn't mean one thing or the other. Oliver Ekman, the Iowa wrestler. Hey Fab, how you doing? I'm good, mate. How are you? David Morris says, I'd like to see a PD enhanced DC versus John Jones, just to make it fair, assuming DC is clean. Till versus Izzy thoughts, games you love. I don't see Till beating Izzy. That's me. I think Izzy's better than Till at what Till does. That's my opinion. Nothing against Darren Till. I like Darren Till. I'm a fan of Darren Till's, but I just don't see him beating Izzy. Having said that, he might. Having said that, he might. But I just think that Israel's better than Darren Till at what he does. Cricket, Jones versus Lesnar. Winner never gets tested again. Yeah, something like that. That'd be fair. I think Jones would beat Lesnar. That's just me. I think he would. I don't think Lesnar has a huge amount of ways to beat John Jones. Um, especially once a fight gets going after the second, third round. Um, yeah, most PEDs make your estrogen all over the place. Johns was taking them to hide that from USADA. I don't know why he was taking it, but it does mess with your chemical balance of your body. So yeah, like that's not uncommon for that to happen. What is Brunson missing in your opinion? He looked good against top five fighters, against top fighters. He's a bit wild at times, but he had a war with Whitaker, did good against Romero, etc. Man, honestly, I was in the corner for Rob's fight. It wasn't like a war. He went wild with Rob. He went wild on Rob in the wild. He just went wild, and then he went. Shh. Yeah, so it wasn't really a war. It wasn't like a like it wasn't like that. You know, we could in the corner you could see it like right at the start. He went wild, 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 and Rob rode it out, and then that was it. It wasn't like a back and forwards war like that. What is Brunson missing? I don't know. I don't know. It'd be kind of wrong for me to say this is what I think Brunson's missing, but I don't know. There's just something that I, I, there are things that I think, but I'm not. It's not my place to talk about somebody else. Islam like that, like I know what he should be doing. Like I wouldn't, I don't feel comfortable speaking like that. But I do, even in that fight with Rob, like there are things technically with his striking that like he has power, but he doesn't have that level of striking like Israel or Rob or even Gastelum or someone like that. That isn't to say that um he's not as could be effective or not because he's got that kind of power, and he's knocked out good strikers, but he doesn't have. It's not the same. It's not the same. And I was there, like literally there. Um, Islam Makhachev versus RDA. I think Islam Sasank, the literal chemical he tested positive for was an estrogen stimulant, I believe. Yeah, and like I said to you, I think in those cases there's a massive mix in your body that you need to stabilize as well. Like you can't just have your testosterone skyrocketing. Fab, what do you think about tats on the back of the head? I think they're fine if you never want to get a job ever. You know what I mean? Other than that, I think they're good. If you don't want a job in a bank or as an accountant or something, you're good. JG, there's many fighters who juice on all kinds of stuff to fly under the radar. USADA is not as effective as everybody thinks. Dude, you don't even have to have masking agents. You can just not turn up to the test and you get a mark against your name. You can have 3 marks in a calendar year. So it's not fucking rocket science to beat it. Idris Adid says, "What do you think about Islam Makhachev? Fantastic fighter, fantastic." Hey, Oliver Ekman, I'm good. How is the half Asian daughter? She was here, mate. She made a cameo. A says that was 100% the purpose. The PED cycle you hear bodybuilders talk about prove that blockers are just as important when getting tested. Yes, but with what do you call it? USADA, you can just not turn up to a test and you'll be fine. Chase T. Newen, Jack the Ripper, jobs are overrated anyway. Take that from experience, get that tattoo. Do it, sir. Cricket, holy crap, just saw the Crute versus Lionheart is scheduled for April. Keen. That's gonna be a cracker fight. Um, A says Islam seems unbeatable. At this stage, he does seem unbeatable. How do you see Tony and Benil going? Benil's very good, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Benil's very, very good. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I mean, I don't write Tony off right just this second yet, you know. Can Jimmy Crute get a top fiver if he beats Smith? That's a big test, man. That's a big step up for Jimmy. Jimmy hits super hard though. Um, Again, I've worked with Jimmy a little bit. You know, he came down and trained with us a few times, so I can't talk too much on where I think there'd be advantages and disadvantages. Um, but yeah, that's going to be a real interesting fight. That one, Endless Nameless, is both an antagonist. Likely in the case of Jones, assuming he was dosing high test, he would have been an antagonist. Jason Correa, a year avoided 3 tests and only got a 6-month suspension. Yeah, and if you avoid 2, you don't get anything. You know, so it's you guys work that out. So the fight's about to start. We're off. So we got Tucker in the southpaw stance, and Ige is standing in the orthodox. Both guys looking very strong. It's going to be interesting to see these guys grapple, man. Oh, shit! Oh, my God! Dan lands a massive right hand and Tucker's out. My God. Oh. Oh, oh my God. Wow. What a shot. Wow. I was not expecting that. I'll tell you that now. Wow. Wow. What a shot. That was huge, man. Wow. My God. Right hand just as he came in. Just as he came in, man. Oh my God. What a right hand. What a shot. Hey, Fab, Riz versus Wilder. I got Wilder, man. I think he's just much, just a different level of boxer. Riz is good and he's a good boxer and everything. I think Wilder's just, I have to say Wilder. I hope Riz. I hope Riz. I cannot put the camera, the Leonardo Perez asks me, no puedo poner la cámara para la pelea. Um, sí, entiendo que no hablas inglés, Leonardo, pero no puedo poner la cámara. Tienes que parar de decirlo, o si no te voy a bloquear. So I've asked him, this Leonardo Perez, to stop asking about the camera on the thing, or I'm going to block him. Yeah, he's running. He's running a sting operation. He's trying. This is entrapment, Leonardo. My God, he hit him with a right hand of the gods. Poor guy. Oh man, he just got hit in that exchange. You know, not even exchange. As he was kind of stepping in, he ate the right hand. That was pretty full on. Wow, big shot. I met Dan as well. He's a good guy, man. He's a nice guy. Well, at least when I met him, he didn't like spit on me or anything. He may not be a nice guy, but when I met him, he was a good guy. What a shot, man! That was oh, that was pretty crazy. I'm man, straight on the button too, and that's what happens, man. Like you get hit, and it's over. Anyone can get hit. It's fighting. He just stepped in and got hit. Wow, 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 wow. I'm just making sure I'm on the right fights. Wow, and that was the exchange. Just that. Boom. comes in. He got hit so flush on the chin, man. Okay, so this is. I'm gonna have to block this guy. He is blocked. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It was Christian. It was like McGregor, Aldo. Very, very similar. Stepped in, but it was, you know what it was? It was it was orthodox to southpaw, not southpaw to orthodox. But other than that, yeah, pretty much very, very similar. Wow. I had to block 2 people in 2 weeks. I've never even had to block people ever before. Why? Why is there an infiltration of numbnuts coming onto the podcast? We were doing so well before it. Cricket, the new age of telemarketers. You know what I think of this podcast is like? It's like the beach. Have you seen the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio? This is what this is. And now more people are finding it. And for the most part, they're good. And so the community grows. But every now and then, you get a bunch of tourists, and they're only coming here to get high and start trouble. That's how I see it. Wow. Yes, JG, that's exactly what has happened. What did they do to get blocked, Oliver Ekman? No, he just kept asking me to he kept spamming for me to put the the fight on, like for me to put the fight on the camera. And you can ask it, I don't know, 5 times. But this guy just kept spamming it. Coach Tucker probably didn't use Manscaped into the promo. Joseph, thank you, sir. Speaking of which, use Fab at Manscaped and get 20% off plus free postage and delivery. Man. And you know what I don't know, man. I don't know. That was a good punch, man. That was a good, nice, straight punch down the middle. I'm actually, speaking of, guys, I am going to I thank you for, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about a very important topic, and that's a topic of weed whacking. Go to Manscaped, get 20% off plus uh, free shipping with the code FAB. And usually, when we talk about plucking those nose hairs and doing trimming around the ears and whatnot, most of us are used to doing that with weapons such as this. While effective, they can be cumbersome. They can prove to be cumbersome. And everyone's personal favorite is also this beauty, something like this. Whilst very effective, it's also hard because sometimes you don't have the right extension cords and whatnot. So Manscaped has given us this, the Weed Whacker. The Weed Whacker is skin safe. It has a replaceable head. It has high performance motor, so a premium 9,000 RPM motor powers. This is something that you would have probably seen in a World War II aeroplane prior to this. And unlike the hedge trimmer, it's cordless and rechargeable, so you can use it anywhere and you can take it with you. And it's really, really a pretty amazing product. It has a smart design. It's intelligently contoured design for you to be able to grip it easily, and it's not going to slip out of your hand, which is an amazing segue to the next part of it, which is that fact that it's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower and whatnot. So this is a pretty amazing piece of machinery here for all of us that need it. And everyone needs it, because you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that has the nose hairs and the ear hairs sticking out. My dad used to take me to a barber in Liverpool, and ironically, this barber, it was an older guy, had the worst hairs coming out of his ears and the worst hairs coming out of his nose. And always, as a little kid, I used to always watch that. So I never wanted that myself. So please, Manscaped, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FAB. Thank you, people. And we are back, people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, please, guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends at school, tell your friends in the workplace, tell everyone that needs to know, and a lot of people need to know that this exists. Man, it is it's so much cheaper, than a chainsaw. And the fact that you have the extension, you don't need the same extension cords because it's cordless. Because otherwise, I can understand you kind of throw it up the chainsaw or the weed whacker, but the weed whacker you can use in the shower, chainsaw you can't. The Hungarian hustler says, Misses and the kids are out, so I've got to take my opportunities where I can. I'm not sure. Oh, having a beer. Nice, sir. Thank you, Hungarian hustler. JP Murphy says, has this card been any good so far, Fab? Yeah, man, it's been pretty good, man. It's been pretty crazy, man. I can't wait for next week, man. I'm looking forward to that Grigor Gillespie versus Brad Riddell fight. That's going to be a crazy one. Oh, Bam Bam's fighting. Nice. I like Bam Bam. That's going to be a good one next week. Nice one. That's going to be a good one. And of course, the main event, Derek Brunson versus Kevin Holland. Sasenko too. Yes, price. Um, yeah, get 20% off. I think it's something like $60 or something like that, and then you get 20% off. If I'm not mistaken, plus you get free postage and thingo. The chainsaw is nicer in the hand, but the weed whacker is silent, and the trade-off is worth it. Yeah, I have to say that's more or less right. The chainsaw, you can do other things with the chainsaw as well. Jack the Ripper, Bam Bam. Yeah, Bam Bam's gonna. I can't wait to see that fight. That should be a good one next week. Good fight card. I'll tell you one thing. Brunson is a big, strong boy, and he's real athletic and do backflips and all sorts of shit. Fuck. The thing that's happened with Kevin Holland is I like the way his striking is coming about now. And he's starting to get. He's wild, but he seems to have a little bit more technique with his wildness. How he knocked out Jacare, dude, that was crazy, that fight. You know, that's going to be interesting. Ryan Spann or Cirkunov for the next one. I don't know, man. I maybe Cirkunov. I think his grappling's no joke. New Zealand and Australia are on the map. Way to go. Yes, they certainly are, sir. That's what we were talking about earlier, like about the level of, at least the level of striking in this part of the world has always been very high. We've had a lot of good kickboxers come out of this area. Come out of New Zealand and Australia. A lot of boxers, a lot of good boxers, like world champion boxers, have come out of here as well. So I'm not like the striking in that. We're not behind anyone. Yeah, okay, the wrestling not at that level, but you don't have to be Olympic best wrestler in the world. You can still get your rounds in. And grappling, we've got the jiu-jitsu is good. We've got some good, very staunch judo guys and very, very good jiu-jitsu guys. Um, Gillespie survived that Kevin Lee high kick. That was a bad knockout, that one. I feel like Holland did what Hamzat was talking crap about doing, but somehow doesn't get as much credit. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely one of the fighters that year, in that particular year, that had a whole bunch of fights and won them. Jack the Ripper. Cirkunov has the glassiest jaw of glass jaws. I'm honestly not trying to be mean. It's how I see it. Yeah, he hasn't got an iron chin. I'll give him that. And he's kind of like muscled up, or at least he was. I don't know how he's going to come into this fight. And he's doesn't have the fluidity in his stand up, but his grappling's good. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm assuming you're saying something in Russian, sir. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't know the main event though. I'm still pretty pumped for it. Man, the fights so far have been fantastic, like really fantastic. And I am looking forward to that Brad Riddell and Gillespie fight. That's going to be a cracker. That one, I can't wait. I can't wait. I think that Brad Riddell is going to be very hard to hold down though for 3 rounds like that. It's only a 3 round fight. I don't know. My favorite UK fighter. You know what? I've always had a soft spot for Tom Brees. Um, Paul Daly is probably one of my favorite fighters of all time. Period. Um, and Edwards is up there, man. Edwards is up there for sure. Uh, What's in the mug, Fab? Green tea. Russian guy wants a camera too, Fab. Might have to get out there and do it, eh? Russian bot trying to rig the outcome of the fights, possibly first Australian. Ofan, hope Leon wins, but Belal is cool too. I really like Belal. And I have a soft spot for my Middle Eastern brothers because I grew up around a lot of Arabs. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for people named Belal Muhammad or any combination of those names. I'm still buzzed from Jan's win. Yeah, Jan's win was good, GG. It was a good win. Holland is very entertaining. He's a madman. David Morris, rest in peace, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Not sure if it's been discussed. He was one of the greatest. It hasn't been discussed, but Marvelous Marvin was one of the best ever. Absolutely. Actually, was going to name my son. I was thinking of naming my son Marvin if I had a son, but I didn't have a son. I had a daughter. I like the name Marvin after that man as well. Jack the Ripper. I'm looking forward for the older gentleman, Jan versus Teixeira. Always loved Glover. Yeah, man, that'd be a cracker. I'd love to see that fight. Ofon, you got to be stoked with how the Oceanic fighters have been coming on the MMA scene. Man, MMA here in Australia and New Zealand, people love to fight, man. Like they love to fight, and we don't have guns. So we do have guns, but not many. So people love a good scrap, and they can fight. And there's a big history of fighting here as well, you know. So, um, yeah, I'm not surprised at all, you know. Um, 3 cards in a row for City Kickboxing. Yeah, for sure, man. The great team there. Holland is cool as heck too. He's a loudmouth, but a respectful one. I don't know too much about what he says. I don't get like stuck in stuff, but he's he's a good fighter. I want to see him fight. First Australian. Remember when Bellator had a TV deal? It's Channel One back in the day on free to air in Oz. We was always King Mo fights or Paul Semtek's daily was awesome. Yeah, man. King Mo was unreal, dude. Such a talented fighter. Lewio says drinking Lunacell tequila oro with jarritos and barbacoa tacos while watching the fights with Fab. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Hey, how Glover can keep up with the best of the best is law defying. Yes, it is, sir. Ben, don't want to get too far ahead, but any early thoughts on Taito Ivasa's fight next week against Dontale Mayers? I can't be objective, man. I know Bam Bam, you know. So I hope Bam Bam wins. That's all I've got to say. GG, my life is a shambles right now, Fab. So thanks for the positive vibes. What's wrong, GG? What's wrong with your life? You always seem one of the more together guys on the podcast. I really appreciate you. Khaled Ahmed, hey Fab, are you familiar with any places that take wrestling grappling around Livo and Bankstown area? There's heaps, man. I don't even want to give shout outs to too many gyms, but there's heaps of places, man. Around Liverpool and Bankstown, there's heaps, man. Heaps. Like just look up. There's in Moorebank you got Elvis SPMA. You got KMA in Liverpool. You got um like you got, and I'm not saying these places are great or not. I'm just saying that that's what you have. You have Gracie Umaita in Bankstown. You have um there's UFC gym there as well. The Bankstown, my mate used to run the wrestling there. Um, and then you have so many other little hole in the wall gyms. So Lions Den as a Kingsgrove. And there'd be so many gyms now. I mean, I'm kind of out of touch because I haven't been around there that much in that area for a long time. But in the Liverpool Bankstown, there's heaps, man. There's heaps of gyms. Just Google jiu-jitsu in that area and you're going to get good jiu-jitsu. Um, what's to say? Hey, that's another fight. I knew the outcome too, but then he beat Santos after taking some crazy shots. Who's drunk? Who's drunk? Do you have to be to get a Superman symbol on your chest? Or you can just be a big, strong dude and you don't give a shit. Nobody's going to say anything. Who is the GOAT Aussie NZ fighter? Does Rob take it? Honestly, if I tell you who I think Mark Hunt is the greatest of all time Aussie NZ fighter. My opinion. That's just me. No disrespect to anyone, but I think Mark Hunt won the K1, always up there, fought I don't know how many fights. You forget now because you've seen him now at the end of his career. But when I think of like the greatest fighter like that from this area, I think of Mark Hunt. Louis, how often can you use your Spanish in Australia, Fab? Not where I live, not much. With my mum and dad, my daughter, not a huge deal, but there are pockets of people that speak Spanish in Australia. It's not a gigantic community, not like in the US, like something like that. Not like that. But like there's places like pockets like in Fairfield and that where you'd walk into a store, you could still speak Spanish to some places, but not it's not huge. Not like the US. Like I've been to the US, I've been to Los Angeles, been to Chicago, been like everywhere in the US. Not everywhere, but been to a lot of places. Like La Mission, the mission in San Francisco. Um, that's like you're in South America or Latin America somewhere, you know? It's completely different. Like nothing like that here in Australia. So you usually I only speak Spanish with my mum, my dad, and my daughter. That's it. Oliver Ekman, goddamn, I'm excited for the Volk fight at UFC 260. Also sorry to hear that, GG. Man, I am sorry to hear that, GG, because I actually like you, man. You're a good guy, you know. And man, all I can say to you, dude, is everyone's going through shit. Like sometimes you think, you know, it's just you, but you'd be surprised, dude. Everyone's going through shit. Like it's not just you. Sometimes you feel like fuck, it's just me, and the life has dealt everyone pocket aces and dealt me cards. But I think everyone has a variation of that, you know. Like I think if you were to have a camera into like a whole bunch of other people's lives, mate, we all go, myself included, you know, everyone, we all go through some shitty times, you know, and sometimes it lasts longer than you think it should. So man, stick in there, GG, and direct message me on Instagram if you ever need to talk. That's a real offer for you, man, for real. I don't know what I'll fucking do, but I'll definitely have a chat with you. Um, anything says my uni is in quarantine again, so it's great to be here. Good to be here, sir. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. Ophon says, by the way, both Leon and Belal are going into this fight as 18-3. Dude, that is a lot of things. Rick James, Fab, which area in Sydney are you from? I grew up right next to Cabramatta. I grew up in a little suburb called Ashcroft, Green Valley, up the valley. Yeah, I grew up there. And I grew up in like that area in the 90s when like Cabra was Cabra in the 90s. GG, appreciate it, folks. No, man, appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Ophon, love Mark Hunt for real, man. The best. Agree, Mark Hunt being the Oz New Zealand greatest warrior. I mean, I think that guys like Israel and Rob are writing their book. You know what I mean. Like their story's still being put out there. You know, so Volkanovski is still being put out there. But as far as like who's achieved what in MMA or just in fighting in general, Mark Hunt stands alone, in my opinion, at this point in his career. At this point. These guys are about to kick off. We are off, people. Cirkunov in the southpaw stance, Spann in the orthodox. Cirkunov goes looking for a high kick. Spann is a big boy, man. He is a big man. Cirkunov needs this on the ground, I think, because he's kind of labored with his striking. I'm not really a huge fan of how labored he is with his striking. Oh, but then there's an exchange there. I think that Spann got the better of it, and he hit him low. Cirkunov has hit Spann low. Oh, boom! Hit him in the tallywhacker. And we're about to be off again, people. He got him good. Cirkunov throws a right hand, goes looking for the right hand again, but Spann is throwing a nice little check hook as Cirkunov comes in with his with a jab. Oh, shit! He dropped him with a huge right hand. Huge right hand. Is Cirkunov going to survive this? He's definitely got the grappling if he's able to. Man, pull guard Cirkunov. He is in la-la land. He's not good. He's not good. Cirkunov is not good at all. 4 minutes to go in this first round. Spann landed a huge right hand. Again, another shot. Is Cirkunov? Nah, Cirkunov is just covering up. He's just Spann landed about 30 shots after that. My God. He landed a big shot down the middle, did Spann. No way for Cirkunov to survive that one. No way. My God. What a shot. What a shot. That was a little check hook. So he threw the check hook, and then he landed a straight right down the middle. Because you could see it. That's what I said to you earlier. Like he's throwing, Cirkunov is throwing the jab, and Spann was throwing the check hook over the top, and I called it before that. And then he threw the right hand straight after it in the first time, knocked him down. Then he landed that hook over the top just then on the temple. He was landing it over Cirkunov's jab all the time in the minute that he fought too. Didn't last long. Wow, man. Big shots have landed on today's card. Oh my God. Some big shots. Sorry guys, I might have to skip a few just to get a little bit further down. How do I know Spanish? Am I from Spain? And my mum and dad are from Uruguay. Ofan says, I'm half Mexican myself, like the typical Texan. Sasank says, Fab, will you be on Volk's cooking show? I wouldn't put me on any cooking show other than my own, to be honest, because I'm not a fantastic cook. A says, I don't want to guess Gigi's story, but if it's like mine, I get it. Says, this is from A. I'm lonely and in a depressive slump. For one reason or another, it's impossible to crawl out of. Just chilling with Fab can help heaps. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, A. And I'm glad, man, that you guys can spend some time here. And, man, it's honestly good therapy for me. I'm telling you now. I enjoy doing the podcast, and it's, mental health is a hard one, man. There's no real answers. And a lot of times it's just having a, kind of string a few things that you like doing together, so that you get a little bit of momentum, because the hardest thing is that overcoming that inertia and building that momentum of having a few positive experiences where you feel a little bit better, because man, sometimes when it rains it pours and people don't feel the best, so yeah, man. First Australian, do you think Volk is where Rob was pre-Romero? I feel like he's recognized, but he hasn't turned that corner yet in terms of popularity in Oz, even for casuals. Everyone and their dogs knows who Rob is. Yeah, there's that. I think they're in different weight divisions. I think there's a few other little factors, that. But the weight division's a big one. People tend to know the heavier guys for sure. All love out here, GG. Wishing you better days, brother. From Joseph. A says you're a true bloke who gets it. Thank you, sir. Hey Fab, have you ever trained any type 1 diabetics in martial arts? I have not, but I was a personal trainer for a long time, and I have trained people like that. Grumia, what a great card tonight. It has been a crazy card. That straight right was unreal, crazy. Now we know, yes, JP. Now, JP Murphy, now we know why he has a Superman tattoo. And he should. And now we know why nobody teases him about it. Man, it's very, very saying when the winner cries. It's also for this level of fighter that's not like right at the top. Like the difference between, I don't know what he's on, but let's say he's on 20 and 20. The difference between you getting 20 and you getting 40 is fucking huge. It's a year's salary, It's a year's salary, or you're walking away with next to nothing after you pay your corners and your coaches and you pay your taxes and pay for a couple of things. You're walking away with not much money. Whereas the 40 makes a difference. And if you get a bonus on top of that and you get the extra 50, it makes a massive difference. You live for a year off that. So at this level, it's huge difference. Why are the officials so adamant to stop the fighters from leaving the cage immediately after the fight? I think there's certain rules. There's like media obligations. There's like you got to walk through things at a certain time, etc. It's more for those reasons. Do I study the health side to sports, gene therapy for performance, etc.? Well, my degree is in health science, but I don't necessarily study gene therapy. No, not gene therapy. Jack the Ripper, how much cooking should a man know, Uncle Fab? I can make pasta. Honestly, dude, if you can make pasta and you can make pasta sauce, you should be able to get a lot of derivatives out of that. So I think anyone should be able to make pasta, basic pasta sauce. I think you should be able to cook eggs. You know what I mean? I think you should be able to barbecue something. I think like you should be able to use a pressure cooker to some extent because those things are going to get you out of like should be able to make fried rice. Like they're things that you can make like decent meals like for a long time. So you can make a curry or you can make a stew in the pressure cooker that you'll have food for like a week, or 3 4 days. You can make fried rice will last you 2 3 4 days. Um, I think that's minimum what anyone should be able to cook. You should be able to, you know, barbecue or oven bake or roast a chicken or something. And I think for young guys that are coming up that are training and that you should be able to do those things because if you can barbecue yourself a couple of chickens and you can make a bunch of sandwiches for the week, and you should be good. Um, be able to make a smoothie. Rick Kilmer says, Fab, great cast. GG, life. Everyone pretty much has the same life. We all have experiences, feelings, history, and our thinking to manage. Life ultimately is a management process, and that's to evolve. The thing is, man, I think sometimes like it doesn't make you feel any better that other people are going through shit, but I think sometimes you think, what am I doing wrong, dude? Like I'm a mess, I'm an absolute mess. I think that I was having this conversation just before the podcast with my wife, saying how much of a mess I am. And she agreed. And she's right. But the thing is, man, like everyone is, everyone. My next door neighbors for sure. My neighbors behind me for sure. The ones across the road for sure. Everyone. And like that's why honestly it's hard for me to idolize like athletes and all this stuff when like they're not nobody's any different. Some people have better genetic gifts, better attributes, better physical attributes, but as far as people, we all go through the same stuff. Like no one is this fantastic, amazing person. Like so you don't idolize people because you're also gonna be it's also gonna make you feel shitty when you meet them, you know what I mean? Because it's not the same. So I feel for you, Gigi, but understand, man, we are all at least as messed up as you, at least, if not more. Probably more. You know why? Because I think most people don't even know that they're that messed up. Most people don't even know that they're messed up. And then they mask that with a whole bunch of crap, buying stuff, buying businesses, you know, telling themselves that, they're doing stuff like ripping off their friends, like, doing crappy things with their friends, like behind their back, just so they can stay, I don't know, relevant in their life, trying to find a relevance in their life. People do this, man. You know what I mean? So at least at least you know. And that's a big part of the way to getting better. Um, Jackson Torres, love ya. What you do, Fab. Will you ever be selling those neon signs in the back? I don't know, man. I don't even know if I want to keep the name of this podcast, to be honest with you. I might change the name in the future. I don't know. I don't know exactly what that will be. Ophon at Jack the Ripper's saving them to start a strip club in the future. No, I'm not going to start a strip club. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I'll keep the name. Kilmer says modern society suckered into the oligarch's material dream. The most important things in life are the people who we love and are connected to, and doing our best to be a service to our community. Take care. Well, it's funny, because that does it. There has been like a breakdown of the larger community. You know, like it's very nuclear and very individualized, our world. And that's why, you know, but we're still drawn to joining clubs. We're still drawn to you know, congregate in and build communities, but we're also fighting that as well because we're very individualized and nuclear. So I think it is hard, you know, like that. I think it's like 6 people a day kill themselves in Australia. 6 men, 6 to 7 men a day kill themselves in Australia, like in suicide. So it's something like that. The figure is, it's pretty crazy. Gigi says the commission rules are so weird. They wouldn't let Holloway hold the cage door open for Wonderboy for some reason. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I sorry, Fab. What happened to Eryk Anders fight? Eryk Anders, believe it or not, Oliver, hit hit knee to grounded opponent like Jan did. Different to how he did it, but very similar. So he got draw called a no contest, and no winner was declared. Um, Arco says, "Yo, Fab, hold on a second. Well, I don't work with Rob anymore. Okay, like this is like old news. Like I haven't worked with Rob for like, I don't know, maybe a year and a half now, probably a year and a half. So yeah, I don't like, I'm not working with him like at all. There's not any we stopped working together, yeah, close to a year and a half now, probably. First Australian, I'm a chef, and if you can get the basics down, like stocks, pasta, rice, shallow frying, and roasting is a good base. Get the base first and then expand and branch out into different areas. There you go, from the chef, from the man himself, first Australian. Yeah, and I think that's kind of me. Like I'm not a very good cook. I just try and um on my little cooking shows do stuff, like when I do stuff on Instagram. I don't do it because I think, oh, I'm a mad chef or a mad cook. I just think like if I can make this recipe and I can put it out and some young guy can see it, like I think it would have helped me when I was like 19, 20, instead of just like eating steak and apples or something, you know, when I was at uni. Um, Belal looking slow and worried as hell. Where'd you get that from? Hey, hey, anyone else see that? Okay. Oliver Ekman, Fab TV, Cricket, the Fab Factory. James Adjuceman, change the name, Ballina TV. Yeah, I don't know if I want to change the name or not, but I'm just, yeah, I don't know. Because when you spoke about the sign, I don't know. Jack the Ripper, I know I'm messed up, but I have a hard time talking about it. Luckily, my girlfriend pulls it out of me and knows when I'm down. Good luck to you, GG. No, we're all going through things. Yeah, man. Big time, Jack the Ripper. Big time, mate. Big time. It actually helps me, you know, because when you socialize with people as well, this is one of the conversations I have with my wife. Like when you socialize with people, it's important. Like you don't want to socialize with crappy people, make your anxiety and your mental health worse, but you want to socialize with people is when you start talking to people and seeing people, and you start to realize like, who are you when you're at home? You know, who's this person when they're at home? Because you usually get the best version of the person. The person's, unless they're a complete twat, they're not going to come out and be an idiot in front of everyone. But you can see who people are. You know, if you've got a little bit of, you know, like introspective thought in yourself, and that you can see the bad you in other people as well. And you start to realize, like, man, all these people have problems. You know, everyone's got problems. Some people you wouldn't, you think, oh, I'd love to have that guy's life. Then you see their life, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll keep my problems. Thank you. Let me see what you're watching the fight on. Like a laptop on the fight app. Who do you have going to Stipe versus Ngannou too? If Ngannou looks anything like he did in his fight against Rosenstruck, I think Stipe will finish him like he did against Fabricio. I think Stipe hits hard enough to give Ngannou trouble on the feet. I don't think it's like the people talk like Ngannou doesn't feel shots and Stipe can't hit hard. He hits hard, and Stipe has a legit ground game. So I don't know. I think Stipe has more ways to win, and Ngannou has one way to win. or one variation of that way to win. And that is devastating the way he can win. That is a very, very devastating win. Coach Fab, GOAT commentator, a legend as a life coach too. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the adrenaline and all that shit is different. You're right, JP Murphy, like about the adrenaline making a massive it's completely different, dude. It's not it's man, the adrenaline, like my wife grappled the other day for the first time. We just grappled together and like she'd been grappling for about 2-3 weeks, and then we did like a little bit of hard grappling, and she's never felt like the adrenaline like of grappling and then she went real hard, tried to kill me. Um and then she felt sick afterwards in that for ages. She didn't know what it was. Like her hands were shaking and everything. I was saying to her, like, it's just adrenaline. It's just like how you feel. And before a big competition or something, you feel like you can't feel your hands, you can't feel your legs. Um, like you people. That's why people throw up as well, because there's no like your blood is not going to your digestive system anymore, because it doesn't need to digest food. It needs to fight. So people feel sick. People don't feel good. First Australian says, I wouldn't keep pizza sauce for 3 months. As soon as you take something hot off the stove and leave it to cool down, the bacteria grows immediately. Never put hot or warm stuff in the fridge to cool down. And you have to reheat it, First Australian. He talked about it earlier and said he would give the edge to Stipe, but not to count Ngannou out. First Australian, leave it out at room temperature for no longer than 2 hours. After that, I wouldn't suggest keeping something after it's been cooked for any longer than 5 days. Interesting. Missed the chat for a bit. Whoever it is that's going through it, sending love, bro. James the Juiceman. We were talking to Gigi, but I guess we're talking to all of us, not just to Gigi. Restaurants never keep anything for more than 5 days unless it's dry stock like tin foods, etc. First Australian. Fab, in the locker room footage, hitting pads with their team, Belal looked like he saw a ghost. Yeah, man, the adrenaline plays massive tricks on you, dude. Massive. Like your hands and arms and feet, like they feel light. They feel like you can't, you don't feel good. You know what I mean? You feel like you're not thinking like your blood pressure can drop. The blood's not going to where it should be a lot of the times. Your heart's pumping. That's why people don't understand. You can have good fight IQ, but if you haven't been through that enough and you haven't got the fight experience, it's different, man. It's very different. Fine. At First Australian, it's only for personal use, but I knew it's the wrong way. But since I cooked the pasta sauce at 550 Fahrenheit, I haven't gotten sick from it yet. Not anyways. Laugh out loud. Someone out there has gotten Ngannou winning by Kimura. Oh, if he could. I mean, anything can happen, but I don't think so. Being a pro chef is badass at First Australian. Dude, I had a mate that was like a chef, and I know how hard that job is, man. No way. That's a hard job. I have a hard time with fights like this where I don't want either guy to lose. It's also how I feel about Tony and Darius, which I think was just booked and should be a banger. Agreed, sir. Belal really repping Middle Eastern culture. Yes, he is, sir. Which area of MMA will develop the most in the future, in your opinion? Which area of MMA will develop the most in the future, in your opinion? I don't know, dude, but I think the striking is just going to keep getting better and better and better because the fights start on the feet and it's so hard to take people down. Leon's looking really lean, really good, really muscular. Thanks everybody again. Sorry to be a downer. You're not a downer, GG. How nervous did you get as a cornerman backstage for Jack the Ripper? Nervous, man. I'm like I'm all in. You know what I mean? With whichever way I go with whatever I do, I'm all in. I'm either all in or I'm all out. Like I'm not. And people like it, people don't like it, and that's okay as well. But I'm never lukewarm. You know what I mean? We're either good and we're all the way in, or we're not. And by being we're not doesn't mean I don't like you as a person or personally or whatever. It just means, oh, cool, man. We have difference in opinion or different difference in value system or whatever. It doesn't mean I hate you, but I'm just all in. So I get very, very nervous because you spend a lot of time with, like, I'd spend a lot of time with the guys that I work with, not just in, because I mentor and work with young guys that play rugby league or soccer or whatever, mainly rugby league, just because of the area that I grew up in. And if I'm watching them play, then I feel super nervous for them as well because I know what's on the line and I know that person personally. Yeah, I was going to say, I think when you said, I think Belal always looks a little scared, to be honest, it's a big eyes. And I'll tell you something else, it doesn't matter how you look or even if you are scared, because some people are scared, petrified, don't look good, throw up before a fight. Tito Ortiz used to throw up and cry before a fight, but then he'd go out there and fight his ass off. So none of that matters. Khaled Ahmed says, hey, Fab, I'm from the liver area. What would you recommend looking into for some grappling classes? I said earlier, I answered you, Khaled, earlier. There's a whole bunch. Just Google BJJ and there's a whole bunch. There's Elvis Sinisika Moorbank. There's Grace Hill Maita at Bankstown. I think there's a couple of gyms even in Liverpool, man. I don't know because I'm kind of separated from it, but I'm pretty sure there's a few gyms in Liverpool. In actual Liverpool. Then there's places up in Hoxton Park, I think. There's so many jiu-jitsu gyms now, dude, like around. So, and you can get good grappling in. So yeah. A says, you're a Top Gun and was happy to hear your real thoughts, bro. I don't know who that's to, but if it's to me, thank you. Great opportunity for Belal this. I hope he puts on a good show. Okay, we're about to start. We're about to kick off now. Edwards a lot taller. He's going to have the reach. But Belal is a thick little fellow, isn't he? Yeah, David Morris, GSP, talks about how nervous he was before fights. He says he was terrified. Yeah, like there's all sorts of different. That doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean if you can control and you go out and fight your ass off, you're going to do well. We're about to start, people. We're kicking off. We're off. Leon, as always, in the southpaw stance. Belal in the orthodox stance. Leon is doing a good job of holding the center of the octagon now. He turned him around just with his footwork and his presence. He turned Belal around and he's feinting with the kicks. This is high level. This is high level stuff because I know that Belal has to come forward and Edwards was able to feint and turn him and just with his stance and he kicked Edwards in the tallywhacker. Edwards was able to turn that around and now he's got Belal on the back foot and he throws a nice high kick. Edwards is a very good striker, man. Just the way he moves, the fluidity of his movement and whatnot. I really like watching him. And he goes from southpaw to orthodox quite easily, although he is a very natural left-handed in the way that he fights. Throws a left hand down the middle, does Edwards and misses. Belal comes swinging in with the right hands, but Edwards just slid out of the way. Edwards very comfortable. I really enjoy watching Edwards fight. And he's starting to find a home for that left hand down the middle. They clinch in the middle. Edwards got a double underhook, it seems. He's got a body lock. Yes, he does have the double underhooks. But Belal is defending quite well. Very, very powerful man, Belal as well. Edwards changes his level. Now Belal tries to turn him. He's got him up against the cage and throws an elbow on the break. Belal doesn't want to pummel on the cage. He wants to fight. Man, Edwards' footwork is good, really good. He just skirts out of the way, but then he got hit by a lead right hand from Muhammad. But Edwards doing a fantastic job. He just keeps Belal's back to the octagon, to the octagon fence. Now it's changed to orthodox stance. Goes looking for a jab. Does Edwards. Back to orthodox. Oh, left high kick. Nice. It landed. It hurt him. He hits him with another left hand, a right hand, a left hand. None of which have landed flush. The right high kick didn't land flush, but it hurt Belal. It did definitely hurt Belal. And now he's in range. He's way in Edwards' range. Edwards is showing off some high level striking, some unbelievable footwork. Really nice footwork by Edwards. Really nice footwork. Man, it's hard to the way that he does it, the way that he just slides in and out and then keeps coming back to the center of the octagon, never letting Belal. Now, ironically, Belal's holding him there with double underhooks, but not with the striking realm. Belal's not able to start pressuring him to come forward because he just silkily slides out of the way. Very, very impressive. A pleasure to watch. That's why Edwards is one of my favorites, man. Nothing doing there in the clinch, by the way, against the cage. It was two takedowns. Nice right, left. The left landed right at the end of Leon's punch. I believe that Leon is going to finish Belal with strikes somewhere in the third round, something like that, I think, because he's starting to get the range very, very good. He's looking so good as Edwards. Muhammad's bleeding from his head. I think he got eye poked then. Cuts the cage incredibly well, man, incredibly well. And he's able to get out of the way of stuff so well. He cuts the cage, but he also avoids getting the cage cut on him as well. Like now, Belal's trying to back him up against the cage, but Edwards is just moving really, really well. And this Belal's game is to come forward with some really hardcore pressure striking, but he's not able to do it. Edwards just continues to cut the cage off, and he uses the change in stance to be able to do it. He goes from southpaw to orthodox to southpaw when he needs to do it to cut off the cage. Stiff jab by Belal. 1-2 landed by Edwards. A nice punches. 40 seconds to go. Another 1-2 didn't land that time. But this is incredibly tiring for Belal because he's always reactive to whatever Edwards is doing. Edwards is doing a fantastic job of making Belal be reactive to him. Inside leg kick landed by Edwards. 21 seconds to go. Left high kick goes looking Belal. Edwards catches a kick. Belal's balance was really, really good. Spinning back kick missed by Muhammad. And that's the bell, ladies and gentlemen. He does a really good job of that. He's in the southpaw stance. And then he starts to, as he starts to move forward, he landed. He partially took it on the arm, partially. But it landed, man. That landed. Then he landed the 1-2. And Belal was in trouble. I think third round, I think that Edwards is going to stop him. What's happening, why I say that is because what Edwards is doing with his stance change, he's able to corral him up against the cage and keep him reactive, feint, move, and Belal doesn't know what shots are coming or when. And that makes you that tires you a lot. It tires your neural system massively. And when you're fatigued like that with your you have neural fatigue, you don't react as quickly, and you're going to start to get hit more and more and more. And because Edwards doesn't rely on one big shot, he can just keep hitting you, keep peppering you, keep hurting you. Another shot landed. Oh, he got eye gouged. I think Muhammad got eye gouged. I think he got eye gouged. He got eye gouged bad enough to get dropped. I don't know how bad he landed that in the eye. He's got the clock's on now. There's 10 seconds. I hope it doesn't finish like this. But then you got to ask yourself, how do you restart it? Man, he got eye gouged a beauty, it seems. Oh, yeah. I think he did. I think he got a thumb in the eye, it looks, or maybe got a finger in the eye. Oh, my God. Wow. I don't know what's happened here. It looks bad. I hope it doesn't get called. It looks bad. It looks like they're going to call it. I think it's going to get called. because he can't. It doesn't look like he can open his eyes. If 54 seconds has gone in this recovery time, nah, that's it. They call the fight. They call the fight. Belal's crying. They call the fight. He's actually literally physically crying, which I don't blame him. That's such a horrible way for the fight to end. And also, you'd be shitting yourself with your eye. You don't want your eye to be. You don't want to lose your eye. So I don't know even what he's seeing or how much pain he's in. So it'd be a combination of both things. Leon Edwards looked amazing, by the way. And I'll tell you something else, man. Oh my God, he got him good. I'll tell you something else. If that eye, your right eye is impaired, even a small percentage against a good left-handed fighter like Leon Edwards, it's a great striker. That's you can't fight, man. Like I mean, you can, but it's a massive disadvantage. You just got hit with a massive left high kick earlier in the fight, and Edwards just going to keep letting him go. Edwards looked really good. Wow. Yeah, he did. What have we got here? Man, look at that eye, dude. You can't let him fight, dude. This annoys me, man. You can't let him fight. Yeah. Wow. I feel sorry for old Billy. I do. And for Edwards, man. You know? No, it's off. And I think, wow. Yeah, no contest. Having said that, it looks really, really Edwards looked really, really good in that fight. Edwards looked really good. The way he was moving, cutting off the cage, getting off the cage, he looked fantastic, man, against Belal. Belal's no joke. He's a very solid fighter, and I'm glad that um what the silver lining in this that at least Edwards was able to get a little bit of a hit out and got a round in. Um and people got to see what he looks like at right now, and he looked very good. He looked really good, you know. Um Very, very impressed with him. Very impressed. I don't know what happens next. What do you guys think happens next? Wow. Um, did Herb just ask him if he wants a DQ? I don't know. I couldn't hear. I don't know what was happening. But if his eye was bleeding, yeah, I don't know exactly what happened there. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. I don't. Yeah, I was. I don't know. What were you guys most impressed with? I was pretty impressed with it. To me, honestly, I was the most impressed. I think I was with the Edwards fight. I was really impressed with how Edwards looked. He looked right up there, like with any good guy. Edwards is hands. GG. How dare you? How dare you? Nice little elbow landed by Muhammad. He just didn't land it flush with the blade. Left high kick landed. That left high kick was money by Leon. Boom, 1-2. He throws a nice straight left. It's such a good punch, but it doesn't have that same boom. So yeah. But yeah. pretty crazy, man. I was really, really impressed by Edwards. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you very, very, very much for being here with us today. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram. And guys, thank you very, very much for everything, man. I really enjoy it. And anyone that's feeling down or whatever, man, please, hit me up on Instagram. I'm not saying that I'm going to be changing anyone's life or offering any amazing advice, but I will definitely message you back at some point. Just so feel free to message. We'll have a chat, whatever, and look after yourselves, guys. Thank you so much for being here with us. Take care. Thank you.